All right, all right, all right. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome back to the Real Precious Network, where we are here with the fellas on another episode of the Men's Forum. Okay, buckle up. It might be a wild ride tonight. It is Wednesday, pump day. Has a lot to do with our topic this evening. But and definitely hit that like button, share, subscribe, let your peoples and they peoples know that we're having a conversation. We're just over here chilling, no disrespect, respecting one another, having mature conversations, pointing out behaviors, not necessarily pointing fingers at individuals, but just having conversation to be able to understand and be aware for ourselves and for those around us. So, guys, again, hit that like button as you come in, and we're gonna get started. Fellas, how are you doing this evening?
Good. How you doing?
You
Doing
know,
pretty good. Doing pretty good.
Can't complain. Can't complain.
doing good. Good to see you again, Tony. Thanks again for joining us.
Thank
We
you
must
for
have made
having
a
me.
good first impression. We must have made
Yeah, because he talked about my hair.
Oh man, that's the Ferg, man. God, leave,
Oh,
bro.
that's after I left, huh?
Yeah,
yeah.
oh
Uh,
yeah, God,
yeah,
leave.
some people watch the show and they're like, they love the whole thing. They're like, but that was funny. He talked about your hair.
Yes, all
Yeah, man,
good
some
fun.
man Ferg, man. He'll be up here soon.
Yeah, he'll probably be. I sent him the link really late,
Look at
unfortunately.
Mandrell in the audience over there.
Yeah, I see. I see. Fish and a Fit, good evening to you. Thank you so much for being here. D Man Entertainment, thank you so much for being here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Mandrell's good seeing you. Good seeing you. There's a clip that we did way back in the day that I had put on my page, and it was about Mandrell liking midgets. And the conversation was just so
Oh,
that clip was so when I need a good laugh, sometimes I go to that clip because it is hilarious. But Mandrell has been rocking with us for a long time. He used to be on the panel as well when I did the men's panel a while ago and bring it back. We're back at it. All right. So tonight, our main topic is I avoided sex with my husband, so he cheated on me. This was actually presented to me. I don't remember that. I don't know. You don't want to remember that because it was hilarious.
yeah.
Tonight, our parent actually pointed out this video and said it would be great for a topic this evening. So, I was like, let's do it. Found some other videos that also support that topic. The first video that we're going to get into doesn't necessarily have anything to do with intimacy, relationships, or anything like that, but it is an important topic I think that we speak about because we talk about mothering, we talk about fathering, we talk about single mothers, single fathers, and in this dynamic, it seems like both parents are there. The father is teaching his daughter, but mom has an issue with it. So you guys let me know what you think after watching this video.
Because why do you have her in the kitchen cooking? You don't think that's weird? You don't think that's weird, bro?
Ain't what's weird about this?
Because she's only 8. She don't need to be in the kitchen learning how to
My
cook.
daughter know how to cook like any other
Bro,
female.
she in here seasoning chicken.
What's
How
wrong
does
with
she?
this? Yeah,
Then
that's
you got her
crazy.
cutting up broccolini.
You don't want your daughter to know how to cook? Don't you know how to cook at a young age? What you
It
know how to
doesn't
eat?
matter. My mom taught me how to cook,
You
not
don't
my
need her- I don't
dad.
need her depending on nobody when she get grown. She don't need to depend on
Okay, so
nobody.
I just don't want you in here teaching her how to cook.
Yeah,
Simple.
right there.
She asking you a fucking question.
Right there, cut it right there. It's cool. Fuck, you sitting
And then
there
you
mad
just
as
sitting
fuck.
here not doing shit. You can't at least make the noodles?
Now you don't finna make them fucking noodles.
You in here not doing nothing. You just sitting around looking fucking crazy. Got this little girl in here cooking.
Yeah,
Then she leaving stuff like you think you know what you talking about. You don't know what you talking about.
go ahead.
Just don't
Do how
again.
you do it. Do it, cut it how you cut it. Don't worry about
What
it.
is y'all leaving in
You
here?
always-
What are y'all cooking?
Don't worry about it. You always mad. Damn, bro.
I'm not even mad at just I don't want her in here cooking. I don't want her learning how to cook so early. I want to give it a minute.
Who don't want the girl to cook?
So I saw that video and I was like, what exactly is the problem? But what do you guys think? Because maybe I'm off. I don't know. I
All right, who wants to go first? All right.
So when do he supposed to teach her how to cook? Like when she 20? Like that's when you're supposed to learn is when you're young. Like that's
Right.
when you know, it's a reason why you learn things at a young age. It's because you are a sponge and you can pick up things much faster. Like if you, for example, you see a lot of people that are older that go to college and they really have to get a lot of tutoring, especially if you haven't been in a while. And so I really commend him from actually trying to teach her how to cook, because, I'm not saying all guys are like this, but like, how many guys are actually teaching their kids how to cook and prep food?
Yeah. Um, I was
Well, listen. I wish I could. I want to stay on point, okay?
okay.
Uh, but I will get back to it. But her overreacting made this more of a skit than what's real life, just because they're trying to prove a point.
Hmm.
Dropping the F bombs and doing all that kind of stuff, kind of ruins it because I know the point is still a point. And so let's just say she was trying to be civil and telling him, the father, that he shouldn't teach his daughter how to cook. There's a fundamental basic issue with something like that.
Hmm.
There, period. And I think his reaction, I just think that, that's the problem. It's a fun. Of course, he's supposed to teach her. If he wants to teach her something, and if it's wholesome, it doesn't matter what it is. It also says something about their relationship that she doesn't like to do things for this guy, right?
Mm.
That she thinks that's like a woman's duty, and so there's issues with their marriage.
Mm.
The fact that she would even, in front of their daughter, challenge her husband like that is it's bigger than the cooking issue.
Hmm.
And I've been married so long. I know I've been through certain similar things, but not because of something fundamental like that. But I remember my wife just once started to, when I was talking to my oldest daughter, she was in college, and I was mad. That was my one time when I was crazy mad. My wife kind of stood between us, and I looked at her and I said, "If you ain't on my side, you better get there." My wife didn't talk to me for 2 weeks. And I was happy about it. I never apologized because she was wrong. She was wrong because I was spending a lot of money sending my daughter to college, and I'm telling her, you can't be messing this shit up because the window is this wide. If it closes, I can't open it up for you again. I had to get that point across, and I did. My wife kind of, she thinks I was too tough and all that. I said, no. Sit your ass down. Sit your ass down. And let me finish doing what I got to do. And my daughter, she's working in the profession she went to school for. I think that conversation saved her ass because, man, I was putting everything into sending her through Rutgers with no scholarship.
Ooh.
So it was a one-time thing. I said, listen, hey, daughter, if that door closes, you're done. And my wife, because she's so lovey-dovey. But that's my one example. With my wife, where I told her, don't be coming in between me and the daughter, because nothing that I said to her was said out of something other than love.
Mm-hmm.
And you should know that. And so those are real examples when, but so many men cower from their wives when that shit happens. It wasn't happening with me. I don't care if you walked out the door, you're going to sit your ass down. I got to tell my daughter this thing. And, my wife did talk to me for 2 weeks. And okay, so my daughter was on Facebook, right? And almost like 6 months later, I said, hey, how come I can't, see your post? Oh, she said, Dad, I unfriended you and shit when you talked to me like that, way back. And that shit was so funny. I said, oh, she said, I'll add you back on, She said, oh, you talk, I unfriended you. I said, oh, yeah, that's cool.
Look, my parents got one time what I post. Oh, you don't like it? Blah.
I'll never forget that because I was so out of my character because I was desperate because I understand that you miss a window when you're young and trying to get through the window. You miss it when your parents are actually trying to push you through. Sometimes that door never opens again. Not from the way I was doing it. You're gonna have to open it for yourself. But it was so that hit me. That whole scenario hit me.
You have a parent putting you through college, she better listen to everything you say. Okay.
It was crazy. So anyway, but I never talked to my wife like that again. In 30 something years, this should never happen again. But it's
Long
but that's
2 weeks.
yeah.
Right bed.
Talk to me. We laugh about that shit now, though. It was funny. But I never had to, and I never did again. But she never stepped between me and my kid when I'm admonishing him again either.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know? So sometimes it's lesson learned.
Yeah.
Yeah. I looked at it from a different perspective. Even though it may have been a skit, because I believe, like you said, my man said, kind of went over the top with this thing, but I get they were trying to drive a point.
Yeah.
It was showing three dynamics in this. First one was that the mother had no respect for the father at all.
Yeah.
None. That was plain and simple. It was just the way she talked to him, the tone, the words, everything played key factor that she just basically letting them know, I don't respect you. And if I don't respect you, I don't even want to even pay attention to anything you're doing productive in this house.
Right.
Like she was really isolating her mind away from anything he did positive in that house because his response was like, "Yo, I'm doing this so our daughter can be okay in life." She didn't want to hear that. She totally had no respect there. The second thing that played a part in it is this whole thing now with these I call them red pill influencers, like the females, even men, influence for females, teaching women that we don't need to cook for men. We don't need to do any of this stuff. We can handle our own things. We can provide for ourselves. We can do for ourselves this and that. That was kind of the message that was being sent to the daughter because of the way she spoke to the father.
Right.
Right.
And she was internalizing that, like, disrespect the dad, and I don't need to learn how to cook, basically, right? And then the third thing that played a part in it was that, like my man said, my man was too humble in it when he's supposed to establish some
Yeah.
foundation. I
Yeah.
don't believe in this hierarchy thing of, and I'll explain why I don't believe it. The hierarchy of, and the man is over the household and all that. The reason I don't believe in that concept is that when God made Adam, Adam was given a wife from the rib. The rib was not a representation of over or under because if he wanted to provide that, he would have took something from the head or he would have took something from the feet to create Eve. But the rib means that I walk with you in balance. So it's not to knock down the man's movements in the house, but it's to show a balance, right? She didn't move in any kind of balance with him, and he didn't move with her. He submitted to her without directing her and letting her know, like, here's the deal. Our daughter needs to learn how to cook to survive in a world where a bunch of men want to misuse her.
Mm.
That's what he should have been saying to her. I'm teaching her so she can make it in this world. Like my man just said, he did all this work to get his daughter through college, and he worked heavily. No tuition, no grant, nothing was on deck for him financially to give him some relief. He put the work in. That's all this man was doing. I'm letting my daughter know you're going to have to put the work in because, forgive me, I'm not saying all the younger generation is like this. There's a lot of young men who just don't understand the concept of providing and picking up and lifting up their significant other. It's a lot of them. Actually, I'm gonna say my generation. I see men like that now. My generation, the same way.
Okay.
So, and the three key points. She showed no respect. She taught her daughter, don't listen to no man, handle your own business. And the third one's that in the household, she's teaching that daughter how to argue, and the man is teaching the daughter how he should just submit to the whole thing. And it's not going to help her get forward in her life in a positive way. She's going to always go through men after men after men because of the way her mom is teaching.
Yeah.
I don't know how you could survive in that. But go ahead, Precious. I don't know how you
It
could survive.
is.
I don't know how
There
you
you
could.
go. There you go.
I mean, at 8 or 9, you're what, fourth grade, third grade, going into fourth grade. So, you should know how to get up, make your bed, go wash yourself. Um,
Mhm.
bowl of cereal, which escalates to maybe some eggs, maybe a pancake here or there. Like, I think that there's nothing wrong with this little girl learning how to cook and be self-sufficient for herself. Imagine, like, it's crazy how mothers have these crazy reactions when it comes to fathers just want to be fathers in their children's lives. It's like, girl, I'm gonna just be honest. There's been times my daughter's like, I'm gonna make breakfast. Yes, Lord, thank you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it gives you the opportunity to admire your child for even wanting to do that, and then actually taking the steps to do it and everything that comes with it. And having that initiative, that has to be something that is taught to the child. That, like, if kids had it their way, they would play all day, eat candy, cookies, cakes, and stay up late. Like, that is what children are programmed to do in their world. But it does take the discipline of the parent, whether it's the mother or the father, to say, hey, look, you're going to need to feed yourself one day. And to go past that point, like Tony was saying, in this world, society really feels as though it is a role driven, when you get married, it's a role driven project. And while there are people who do have roles, okay, you cook, I cook, whatever. I know men that cook in their household and they do the cooking, they do the grocery shopping, right? While it is driven that way, I want you to be able to use your discernment, know how to cook, but that don't mean you got to cook for every man that comes in your life either. It's progression, right. It's those life skills being taught in a way of, this is routinely, but this is also growing me. And I don't understand where her frustration comes from. I don't understand where her anger comes from, but it's not going to be conducive.
You really don't understand where her anger comes from.
She doesn't respect.
No. Hold on. I'm saying, I'm just specifically. When I'm saying that to you, Precious, you've been in this modern time. I think you kind of have an idea where her anger comes from. It shouldn't be there, but you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of women who treat men like that.
It's a clip. I wouldn't be able to understand her unless I had a conversation with her. Okay. Right?
The other thing is that the daughter was pretty much enjoying her
she had that broccolini, like, what's next?
See, that's the one thing that
was a bond. Yeah.
Right, that part.
Her mother, the woman came in and broke that bond.
Then she would be mad, like, if he wasn't doing anything, period. Like, if he was on the video game, she would be so upset that he was on the video game.
Can't wait for losing.
Yeah.
The only thing with you with Anthony, that's your name, Anthony? Is it Tony?
Yes, sir.
Anthony?
Yes.
Anthony. The only thing I would push back with you is being married so long for myself. I believe in the higher order of things. Here's where it doesn't really count. Not when we're trying to define roles. Right? In my marriage, my wife, and I think men who are married to women for the long haul with the obligations that we have, if you have leadership, you have to have authority. You have to have authority, or else leadership doesn't mean anything. Responsibility without authority is bullshit, right? So so don't make me responsible for everything, but I can't say anything to you because you're some woman thinking you're equal with me. And you could be equal under the eyes of God or whatever, but it's my responsibility for the whole household. I'm supposed to lay the tracks we all run on. You make my house into a home, but I should be able to get you a house or whatever. When that's house, figuratively speaking, I lay the tracks to run on, and I'll let you run on. Like, one of the things I said to my younger daughter, I said, or my wife, she picked the house we live in. As a man, I wasn't going to pick the house that we live in. I said, these are the things I'm looking for, but I let her pick it because she's got to make this place into a home. I'm not going to go ahead and buy a house that my wife wouldn't like. Do you understand? I wouldn't do that. So we'll make sure we get the house that you want, and I expect you to make it the home because I let you choose the living space. You make it into, because if it was up to me, we'll have a couple of man caves and shit and a couple of beers over there and a couple of things. You know what I'm saying? But that's it's not a real big pushback. But in my house,
No, no, it's not. And
but
I
you
respect
understand what
it,
I'm
man.
saying. When my
I
wife,
understand that. But you know why I don't think that logic anymore? I used to have that logic in my head. I realized when I did more homework on Old Testaments and New Testaments, I even
right?
read the Quran. I did studies on other biblical
Okay,
research.
so
I learned one thing about Jesus across the board. He spoke to women as equals during a time when women were actually considered less than dogs. They had no citizenship. But he spoke to them as equals to men, right?
well,
Jesus moves with the church as an equal and not above it, even though he was the son of God, right? All of these things start making me realize I understand what the rib means now. God, if he God wanted man to be over the woman, he would have just simply made her from a foot as representation. Or the woman over the man, he would have just put the head, right? But he chose a rib to let the woman know that a man is going to get sick and he's going to fall, right? So if he falls and he's sick, let's just say, and God forbid it, people get cancer. I lost my dad over cancer a couple of years back. I don't want nobody else to get it. But if the man loses any way to create income, to save that home, to be that leader, now you're looking at the wife to have to be the leader. So you're forcing her into the place instead of just saying, hey, we're walking as a balance. So if you drop off in this
yeah.
100 walk, and you drop off 70%, I'll pick the 70 up, you
Yeah.
rock that 30, and vice versa. That's why I look at it from that perspective. But I understand what you're saying. I'm not knocking them.
I want
I
to
just learned differently
interject.
when I went through some things, some
Okay.
medical issues, and all of that. I realized, like the andropause, I was
Yeah.
failing this woman so miserably that I was married to. I had to let her go because it wasn't fair to her.
I hear where you're coming from. I do, and I don't really have an argument with the way you think, but we're not equals. That's not how nature looks at men and women. We're not equals.
Do you
Listen,
agree with me to
no,
say that?
we're not. Well, let me finish. When a man falls and fails in a relationship, your wife may pick up for you, but you're on the clock. You're on the clock. You are on the clock. You know, for a lot of guys, for the most part, but listen, women leave men all the time for all kinds of various reasons, and a lot of them are superficial. Just like because the guy ain't, putting up his side of the bargain. You know, so there's some natural things between men and women that don't make us equal. And a lot of people don't want to, feminism don't want to make that true and all that kind of stuff. But I don't look at my wife as beneath me. I don't think I'm better than she is, but I have an obligation for her that I don't know if it's necessarily equivalent on the other side. Right? I had to go to talk to her father to ask for her hand in marriage. When we got married, I had to take on the responsibility for the family. She did her part, but I don't look at,
Mm.
I don't boss my wife around. I can tell you that right now. I don't. I really don't. I really don't. She does anything she wants to do because she agrees with the way we live. But if we're not, if a man doesn't, not you, but I think if you're responsible, and we are, because if my marriage falls apart, nobody's looking at her. They're looking at me. What did you do? What did you do to mess this up, Rich? That's what all people will say. And I'm saying, listen, and I would have to accept that. So I'm saying, listen, if I got the responsibility for everything, I have to have the authority. I have to. And the thing is, not getting to those points where you have to get into those arguments that much. That's
Right,
the
right,
real key.
right,
Me and
right.
my
Yeah,
wife don't
yeah.
have those kind of things that go to the level where I gotta say I'm the man, and you the woman. I swear to God, I don't know. The only example I told you that we came close to that was when I had to talk to my daughter. Other than that, we've been simpatico, man, big time for the beginning because our marriage wasn't hard. We don't have a hard marriage. It's almost 39 years. We never had a hard marriage. We had our disagreements and stuff, but it was just
Mm.
conversations. And I listened to my wife a lot. I told Precious a lot of this stuff that way I had to change a little bit for this relationship. And I was willing to do that. A lot. I mean, a lot. I mean, a lot.
Right. Now
Once,
I get what you're saying, brother. I was like you're saying, you're talking authority, but when you have to understand when we talk live, out here in the social media world, when they
Yeah,
hear authority, most men look at suppression, oppression. You
and they need
need,
to come out of
I
that.
control this, I do this, right? That's
Right.
why, like when authority is out there, I try to explain it
Okay.
a different way so people don't
Okay.
get it. Like you treat your wife with respect, so that means you move equally across the board. But
I
when it's
do
time
that.
to step in on something that's falling apart, you're
Mm.
like, hold up, let me put my idea on the table
No,
first.
but you're right about the point about what people are seeing, how men look at the word authority. And
Yeah.
you got a point there, but they need to look at it differently. Let me tell you, it is an authority thing that seems crazy. My wife wanted a dog. She wanted a dog, big time for the girls and everything else. And so it was
Mm.
me, my wife, and two girls, right? I said to my wife, I said, we're not getting a dog. She said, I said, there's no way. So I said, listen, let me tell you why. I said, first of all, I'm gonna be the dude walking the dog. You're not gonna walk it. The girls ain't gonna walk. I'm gonna be out there picking up the shit, right? I pay the mortgage. I got you, my oldest daughter, my youngest daughter, and now we got a dog. And there's no way I'm gonna pay the mortgage and be lower than the dog. There's no way.
That part.
I'm not, because you're gonna be lower than the dog, because the dog is another human being, really. If you have a house dog. I said, we ain't getting no dog. Because I didn't want to do that. And she understood, but I had to put it that way for her to understand.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. See, that's what I mean about when you said like it's about establishing logic into the
Uh,
player, right?
oh yeah,
Other
yeah.
guys that just think, well, I'm the king of the castle.
Yeah, that don't work.
Obey me, like they're
That shit,
children. These
that
are
shit.
grown women. And the
Yeah.
minute that a father sees his daughter being talked like that by a man, we ready to knock that guy
No, no,
clean
no,
out.
no doubt.
We ready
No
to
doubt.
stretch him clean and smooth out. Don't be talking to my daughter like that. She's a woman and this and that, right? You're gonna respect her, right? So how
Yeah.
you put it was logically. Like remember what Chris Rock said? He said in the household, the dog, the wife, the kids get
Don't
more
fuck the
respect
kitchen.
than
Right.
the father.
You
You're
damn right.
absolutely right. You're
That's all
absolutely
right.
right.
And then to top it off, I'm out there picking up his shit on the street, man. Get out of here, man.
And
So
what he
man.
doing? Every time he drop one on you, he like pick it up.
Let's not even go there. Let's not even. I got one more story, and we can move on. My wife was doing a hodgepodge cooking thing, and she had a pot full of different things in there. And I came home from work one day, and I saw the pot. I said, I thought we weren't getting a dog. She said, but that's dinner. She said,
Oh my gosh.
I looked at the pot. It was all kind of stuff. I thought we weren't getting a dog. She said,
You know what? Go sleep in the doghouse. How about that?
That's the kind of relationship you have, man. I thought we both laughed so much. He said, that's not dinner. I said, oh my God. It was funny. We laughed all night long. But that's the kind of shit we've been through.
Best friends, man. Best friends.
Yeah, that when you have that respect, and I always relate it back to what Joe Scott said. Like, if you could tell me what to do, you could tell me what to do. But if you can't tell me what to do, you can't tell me. And it's all in the telling. How are you telling me this? And I'm not trying to censor how men express themselves, but men also have to be aware of how they're expressing themselves too, because it's a give and take. And everybody should know that, what you give a woman, she multiplies. So if it is rage, if it is anger, if it is, a unhealed woman will meet you at that rage. She'll meet you at that anger. Someone who's a little bit more polished or therapy may, ponder and look at you like you're a little crazy, and let you get it out, and then you have other women who will not let they won't be on your level. They're not going to give you a tit for tat. They're going to, probably use their femininity to bring you down to a lower level or a calmer level or a sensible level. So, it is all in the telling. And I think that those men who have I'm the man, I pay the bills.
It shit don't work.
It
It don't work.
The one that gets me is the the guy who has a wife who goes to work 8 hours like he does, and then she comes home and he still expects her to work at
Yeah,
home while
yeah,
he just chills. It's like,
yeah.
Yeah, I just
dude,
actually saw a video like that. I think I saved it for next week.
Okay.
Because that's the thing too. You know, like we gotta
It
be
is.
realistic here, not black and white
Mhm.
movies. And in today's society, both people are working.
yeah,
So
Not just today's society. It's been that way in the
but you're
black
right. You're
community
right.
for a long time,
You're absolutely
for
right.
decades. Yeah.
You're right. But I
Mhm.
think more women then they were more of housemakers, especially because a lot of their jobs, especially black women. I don't know what the white folks were
Yeah,
like.
no, you're
But
right.
black
They
women,
were more tuned. They didn't complain about it as much.
they were homemakers. They
But they're
took care of
home.
white folks' kids. They so that was
mhm,
what they were doing. You know what I mean? So it
Mhm.
wasn't something foreign to them to come home and do that for their own family.
right. It's just
Um,
Mhm.
it's carried over through generation through DNA.
Right, right. And but nowadays, women have more rights, they have more opportunities, so they're going in the fields that some men are going in, and they're doing things that they were never able to do, and so the dynamic changes a little bit. But it
Mm,
doesn't mean that the family shouldn't get fed. It doesn't mean
right,
that
right.
dinner shouldn't be, in the works, on the way, on in the pot, whatever the case may be. You just gotta work it out,
So,
and
but I got one for you though, Precious, on that point, right? There's like a little growing trend of, and I don't even know if it's growing that much. The house husband,
oh, I saw
right?
that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're going to talk about that. The house husband thing is I think there are more of those happening, but it's not because the man wants to take over those duties. I think after a point, the woman doesn't respect him anymore. I think
Well,
the woman loses respect for him.
well, I mean, that's part of the reason, but also too, if you look at the economy now, man, the things that men normally used to be the provider in are slowly being removed out of society, and you're looking at more computers and
Yeah.
more uh, robotic stuff taking these men's jobs because we did the hard labor stuff, we did the heavy labor, we did the hands-on, right? Those are slowly being pushed out. And the women went into college and education in the field where they use the tools of their mind and created a whole new spectrum for themselves where they're hired in HR or they sit in certain key positions where men we're used to hard work. Remember back in the day
Right.
when you got out of high school, go to the factory, make that good money, hard labor type thing. That was our thing. Now these men, these young men, they look at social media and try to figure out how do I make the fast cash from that because it's there or cryptocurrency and so forth, right? But the women are willing to go out, get in the car, and go straight to a job in the field and do the work. So
And the
it's
thing,
just go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was
No,
going to
you're
say
you're
the
fine.
thing with those men is that, they find a way to make money being in front of their computer and having an audience. And one of the downfalls of that is really seeing yourself as, I don't want to say something that you're not, but you now have this audience that you're bringing into your world, and let's just say you're dating, or you are embarking on a relationship. It's hard to separate what you do for money from your personal life.
Yeah,
It's hard
because
for you to break away from that, because that's what you have to do. You have to be in a room with a ring light and a camera. And like, I love doing this. I love chilling with y'all, and I love doing my, adoptee foster show. But this is not my life. Like, this is not, I'm the same on camera as I am off camera, but I'm not like always like, oh my God, I gotta do this and I gotta post this and I gotta do, like, no, I do it with moderation. I get on here and I leave, but when you have to grow a following, and this is a full-time job. Like, social and content creation, Hayford, is a full-time job. And so when that becomes who you are and you take that on as a full-time job, like a 9 to 5, it's hard to separate your personalities from the real you, and then stage you or camera you or audience ready you. So that's a downfall of men who are doing that as well, because a little bit of the femininity comes out when you saw somebody say something the wrong way, or now you got to defend, and now like what I mean.
Yeah.
You're right. Those hard labor jobs men just are not doing that a lot anymore. Coach
Yeah.
Ferg, how are you this evening?
Let me come off mute. How y'all good people doing, man?
Doing
Doing
good.
good. Thank you.
Y'all looking
What's
good
up?
out there today.
What's up, Coach Ferg?
How you doing, man? What's up, my brother? Just chilling, man. You know, it's Wednesday. I always like Wednesdays, man. I've been going by the old mantra since I learned it in middle school. It's Wednesday's hump day. There's a lot of shit can happen on Wednesday. I like Wednesdays. I enjoy these moments. It makes me go into thought about tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, we're going to get into some of those topics of hump day, because tonight we're talking about a woman who avoided sex with her husband and he ended up cheating on her. Before we get to that video, I do have 2 videos from the same creator that I want to show leading up to the final video.
And can I say one more thing about Wednesdays?
Mhm.
As a veteran who worked for 38 years for the Department of Defense, somewhere along around my between 10 and 15 years, right? I realized that when I took long vacations, if I came back to work on a Monday, it nullified my whole goddamn vacation.
You're never supposed to come back on a Monday.
I never came after that. I said, you know what? I never came back to work after a long vacation until Wednesday.
Yeah.
Until Wednesday, when I knew the week was halfway over, because when I used to come back on Monday, I don't care how long I was gone.
Be dreaming.
On that Monday, all that shit was right there in front of me, and everything was nullified at 8:30 in the morning. You know, I'm saying I every young person I met after that, I told that too. I said, listen, if I could teach you a few things about working, never come back from vacation. Never.
Yeah.
You know, so hey, little words of wisdom for all you people out there in real precious land. Let me tell you.
Yeah. All you worker bees, out there.
Don't come back
know.
on Monday.
Take a couple extra days off, unwind, and get your head right. That
Yes,
man, I gotta come back. Yeah, I gotta come back. It's a Wednesday, and so I'm downhill from there.
Hey, man, I agree with that.
Seriously, no, definitely agree with that. All right, so we're going to move on to the next video. They're asking a question about intimacy, and I want to get you guys and the audience's reaction on this. They say on 3 we are either I think passing or agreeing or something like that. We'll get into it, y'all. I can't remember.
No longer wants to be physically intimate and refuses to discuss the issue or to seek help. We're going to answer this at the same time and see where we are.
Right.
On 3. On
Okay.
3.
All right.
You just say.
All right, she's going to repeat the question. And then before she gets to 3, I'm going to pause it to see what everyone else says. Okay. So is it stay or walk away? So stay, put a 1 in the chat, or walk away, put a 2 in the chat, or just simply type it out, child.
Walk or stay?
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna repeat the question really quick. Your spouse no longer wants physical intimacy and refuses to discuss the issue or seek help. On 3. 1, 2, 3.
Do you walk or stay? Your
You
spouse refuses.
got a divorce. You got to get rid of her. I mean, the only reason why a man won't leave the woman is because of economic, maybe the children, and economic reasons. Because we know we're going to get stung. But other than that, once your wife stops putting out, it's time to go, man. You know, especially if you don't want to cheat. You got to be honest. If you don't want to cheat, because you're going to cheat. Because we got to, part of the covenant is that she's supposed to satisfy that need. If she takes that away. Now,
here y'all go.
Hold on. Let me be fair. When men get into that point, if they have ED or something like that, now a woman has a choice to make. Now a woman has a choice to make. So it ain't always on the man. Sometimes it's on a woman to make a choice. So we always look at it, because it's usually women who try to block up and put a stop sign on the box. It's usually women who want to put a stop sign on the box.
Okay, stay or walk away, guys.
I say walk away.
You got to walk away.
Yeah,
Like,
I say it's
what are you gonna
levels.
do?
I'm sorry.
Like, what are you going? Like, well, it depends. I think it depends. I think it depends.
You could wait last, brother. You last. Yeah, go ahead. Frank, what do you say?
If I get my answer,
Yeah, that's a good order for you right there. For this person.
I'm gonna drop it like this. For real. You stay. You know why you stay? You told God in your covenant, sickness and health, better or for worse. This is your worst. You not getting the punana no more. You telling God, look, you ain't giving me the body. I'm out of the covenant. That's literally what you're telling God. I can't live the covenant. I was wrong. I'm sorry. Forgive me. I'm out because that's the truth. It says sickness, health, better or worse. You are in your worst test now. And that's just literally it. I just no way around it. You can't battle it. I mean, you can find excuses to it, but truth is truth. Now, what you can do, and I seen my boy do this, and I was shocked because she rolled with the punches on it. He sat her down because talking about this, he said this was about 9 years ago.
Okay.
She was like that. His wife was like that. And he told her, okay, here's the deal. I married you. I'm keeping my covenant. But I have to ask you, since I can't have you like that anymore, are you okay with me finding a woman who would just allow me the pleasure and then I come home? She thought about it, but she gave him an okay.
Well,
They're still happily married till this weird day. But it works for them, right?
Well, there you go. That's the same to me as you know. It's not the same as walking away, but that's the same as what I'm saying. Because usually women will say no. They want you.
I agree.
trapped.
Yes, that's what I thought.
They
I
want you to
really
be
thought
trapped.
that.
You know. So, but that's the only solution. Either I leave or I'm getting some box elsewhere.
Yeah. And I respect that. I get that.
Yeah,
I
so
get
Right.
that. But I just think about that covenant. You know, I just think about that covenant.
Man, he should
From 15 to 50. From 15 to age 50. I'm me. I need that. I need my 55,
Away.
60, your shit's, you know, see me on my birth. You know what I'm saying? We
I feel
together.
you. I need it.
But-
We all need
but-
it. We all brothers here. We all need it. I
but-
get
but
it.
let's-
I like your perspective there, Tony.
But that's how in this modern time, man sort of suppress their natural needs and desires.
Too much.
Mhm.
They suppress it, and then it comes out in how they perform in the world. Because instead of having the conversation, like, look, man, I done hit you on the back with it every night, every morning. Because if you're turning away from me, then you're not into me. You're not intimate with. Sometimes it might just slip in. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
But if I'm sitting up there thinking, because I'm thinking about that shit. I thought about that shit on Wednesday. It's hump day. Shit happens on Wednesdays.
Did you let her know on Wednesday morning? Or midnight, you like, let's just
You
go.
already know.
I'm like, I'm a spur of the moment guy, but I'm a heads up guy. I said I'll go by this. I learned this as a kid, and I use Philly quotes to my life. Right? I learned this movie. Y'all seen the old movie in the 70s, the penitentiary movie?
Oh yeah.
Every time I thought about a woman, I used to feel like, I used to think that I'm gonna set the booty up right. Meaning, if I like you, when I was young, this is my little play game. You know, I got the nice little music. I'm gonna take you we're gonna go to the latest movie. You know, I might walk with you, but I'm gonna set the mood so when we get into this mood place where it's just us, then you gonna know exactly what I'm talking about without me having to say it because I'm setting it up. So
Well, you know, you don't even gotta do all that. You know that, right?
but you do though.
No,
You
you
do.
don't.
What I'm saying is, I don't want. I'm sorry, and I say you do because I never had. It wasn't too many places or situations where I had to take the clothes off. They was coming off.
So, I mean, I'm not saying that you don't have to do all that. That could be part of it. That's
It's
still
just part of my little play
that's
game.
still
That's all.
part of the
As a
grandiose,
kid, teenager.
part of the grandiose act of initiating intimacy, in my opinion, right? But most women, you ever see how mad a woman get when a man don't text her back, right? Like she don't see the words from you, she don't get the communication from you, right? And so it doesn't even take all the I'm gonna set the scene and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do
My
that.
own little personal mindset.
Right. It could be something as simple as, babe, I loved that dinner last night. It was so good. As good as you're gonna be later. Like it could be something as simple as that makes her be like, ooh, like, okay, I could tell he, feeling a little way now. Like
I'm setting it up.
But she's saying
right.
The setup don't have to be that strategic.
No, it don't. I'm just saying in my mind, I'm old now. Listen, as a 15-year-old, but as a 15, 18, 20-year-old, I'm thinking that this is all part of my
when you're younger, you figure you got to put in work for it, right?
Older people, listen, what do older people, I don't understand it, right? Because I'm looking at young adults. You old niggas don't want to get married. So I can't keep talking to the old people. The younger people want,
it's not the old people.
But they don't know yet. Because one thing they still want is a relationship.
Yeah,
but they afraid of the marriage thing because they hear that marriage is so bad.
From the old
well, economically, the young people speaking from economics, they're like, it's not even economically
because the law. That's the law, and we won't even change the law.
It's hard. It's hard to survive.
It ain't hard to survive.
We got a chance to get something.
In this day and age, these young people. Do you see how much the houses cost now for them to have access to a home?
Yeah, but if
they want to have a kid on top of that, you want to have a kid and live in a studio.
If they're not getting married, you can't play
house with their mom. No, they want what their mom and dad have. They want the dream, and they don't see
an opportunity to ask the question of Precious. Okay, that it's not just a man to answer, because she needs to answer that question from the last video herself. What do you think about turning, of not fulfilling that for the man or the woman in marriage, the sexual part? What do you feel? What is it? Stay or go? It's not just us that you got to answer that too.
If he turned his back on you every, you know what I'm saying?
And that's one part of it. The other part of it is suppose you turned down your husband, you got married and you said, listen, you know what? You ain't getting no more of this box, big boy. You ain't getting no more of this for whatever reason. What is he?
I'm with you. It's because I like to give it to you. Like, I'm gonna just be honest. Like, there is not gonna be a reason for me to be like, you know what? I'm just gonna stop today. Like, I would stay in a marriage, right? Stay in the marriage because so many people come to roadblocks and don't really unfold what it could be because you're at that roadblock. And people also think that everybody has a clock. I know a lot of men like to be like, oh well, women have clocks. Y'all have clocks too. Okay, so okay,
agree.
There's no equivalency in a clock though, but you're right though. We got a clock, but ours.
Y'all got a clock, okay? And just because y'all can make them kids, that don't mean that thing is what it was before, okay?
We don't care how well it is as long as you
honest as possible here.
If you can do it, that's all that matters.
No, it don't. No, it don't.
Almost made me spit my water everywhere.
But if a man knows his woman, he ain't got to do all that extra. He know right where to go in for the kid.
Right,
but put the soliloquy out.
I would say stay because it gives you an opportunity. First of all, yes, I believe that two people have to be suitable for one another, and suitable comes in a lot of different areas. And I think that sexual compatibility is one of them.
Yes.
So if you're not suitable in that area with each other, then you shouldn't be together to begin with, in my opinion.
That part.
Because for a lot of people, sex is the glue to their relationship. It's not the only material that makes up that glue, but it is one of the main ingredients that makes up the glue. Because intimacy is into me, and you don't always got to be physically into me to see who I am as a person as well. So I think that men need to understand that as well, because you guys are the givers. You think that, oh, well, we having sex. That's intimacy. That's intimacy for me. And for women, it's like, okay, intimacy is not only when you're on top of me. Intimacy is in the morning when I feel like I look like God knows what. And you're like, hey, look beautiful. You know, your eyes are so brown in this light, or whatever it is that you guys like. There are women who know how to use their charm on men, but there are men who know how to use their charm on women too. It's almost like a gift. Like every man don't have that gift, or every man doesn't have that vocabulary or initiation of that type of vulnerability, because that's part of being vulnerable too as a man. Like a lot of men don't think that they need to say nice little frilly things to their woman because it's like, I'm a man, what I look like telling you that, or what I look like saying that to you. But those things are important. It's important for her, so it should be important for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because
Absolutely.
intimacy creates something. It literally, intimacy is about creating things. It's not, you can't demand anything through intimacy because that just
Right.
doesn't work. You're creating it and building into it. You know, like my man said, you know, hey, I set the mood, I put these certain things in play. I mean, yes,
That's
it's kind of long. That's a lot of work, brother. But
no,
it's all about it's all about the, you know, it's all about really you're creating something to attract the mind, which then releases the body.
Right. Yeah, and that's what it is for, definitely for women. But as a man, you have to understand that about a woman, not just your woman, just women in general. And a lot of women, I mean, a lot of men understand that when they're younger. That's why they get a lot of women, right? They have that
they
gift.
don't.
Yes, sir. Hey, I had a
He
phone.
said they don't. I gotta know why they don't,
don't.
because he adamant on the don't. I
They
gotta
don't.
Yeah, but did you,
Well, I don't think
wait,
it's the 2026s, but back in the 90s and
But see, that's 30 years ago.
Even
That's
you-
in my
hold
time.
on, Ferg, though, but he's right though.
I mean, we grew up on Jodeci, and you tell me what you want.
The
Tell me
young
what you
boys-
need.
But that's what I'm saying.
The young boys need to learn their formula.
Look,
I had to learn my formula. The young
Your
boys got to learn their formula. You
yeah,
gotta
they learn it.
Right.
But
Gotta learn the woman, yeah.
listen, they have to learn it. We know that, but a lot of young guys are refusing to go through that
Yeah, but
process.
that's
Is all
their
I'm getting to.
problem, though.
But you know why they don't go?
Hold
I know why they.
on. It's their problem in the moment, but in the long run, it's everybody's
Their
problem, right?
No, it's
So-
not. It's not.
Yes, it is, because
No,
men
it's
are not.
not.
Okay, men will be
Why
affected
is
if they're.
why is everybody else's problem?
No,
If
it'll
you're
be
a man,
because if the men are not approaching and the women are not approaching, what are we talking about? Where the future?
No. Let's not talk about
Where
the
the
men.
where the
No,
future
we're
is
talking
at?
about the men, right? If the man,
Even the men, if men
the
are saying,
man is not willing to approach a woman because he read some shit on the internet, whose problem is that?
That'll be his problem in the moment. Okay,
What was that picture?
Overall,
the point is that your natural urge as a man.
yeah, but that's just to have sex,
Let me
though.
say this: your natural urge as a man. I don't care how old you are. If you're a teenager and you looking to break into the other side of your sexual, you can't look at the internet and say, "Well, everybody ain't doing this." It's just your natural urge to push you through your fear to get to the other side. Nobody sat down and taught me about it. Nobody taught you about that. And just because they're young and stupid, so-called YNs today, doesn't mean they don't have the obligation to say, here's all these women out here, and I don't care what the red pill says or anything else. That babe is fine. I gotta go talk to her. I don't care what happens. She's
But
gonna
I
say
understand
yes or
that.
no. And we can't fix that for them.
Okay, but that's still one thing, right?
What's
But
up?
the intimacy part, they're not even going to understand the intimacy. When I go talk to her and when she talk to me, we having sex. We ain't being intimate. We effing out here.
But you
And that's again, in the long run,
You
there's no
can't fix
family.
that for them.
There's no. It's going to be people continuing the
Yeah, but
same
how are
thing
you gonna
because
fix that for them?
he can. But
Look,
listen,
you ain't
he
answering
can.
the question. How are you going to fix that for the individual man? Because it's not really 100% true.
But
It's not really 100% true what you're saying.
Listen, I can't fix it in their future. That can be fixed. I can't fix it. They have to figure that out because in the future, hold up. So in the future, as we seeing it play out, dudes are already saying, I ain't got no damn intimacy. I got this $40 in the front, $60 in the back. And the women are saying, you got to have that bag. That's what they saying. That's what they doing. They're not saying they're gonna be in a family together. Come on, man.
I'm gonna shut up though too.
You wouldn't even
A
mean.
lot of these women are lying too, right? They say all this bullshit, but if you're the guy they like,
But that's a few.
It doesn't matter how few it is. It's just
but guys are not even going to
Can
that.
I just interject this in there, fellas? Because this is where we're at. We're speaking from our generation's vision of what we grew in. This younger generation, I pay attention to my son, my daughter, my niece, my nephew. Here's the problem, right? They're dating. My sons go out on a date with a girl, and the girl, if they take him to for coffee or whatever, right? The girl looking at him like, oh no, I need you to first date $300. These young men are not dating because women are demanding finances from them on the first date.
That's crazy.
And their thing is that, bro, I'm not trying to give you that kind of money. I'm trying to get to know you first before I drop them kind of dimes on you.
And what I'm saying
And women and these young girls are expecting these guys to do that because they're raised on social media. They're not raised on real life. They're raised on social media.
What you guys are saying, I agree with that part of it, that a man shouldn't do that. But the truth of the matter is that if you're a guy, I'm not saying acquiesce to some stupid demand by the chick. There's still a lot of women out there. You know, one of the things that I find that a lot of young guys, they don't have no girlfriends. They don't have, I don't think they understand what it used to be like when women used to actually like you. We're not even talking sexually like you. They want to be around you. They want to talk to you. They want to be around you because of what you are. Yeah, there's still guys, even these young guys, who don't have to pay $300 for a date. And back in my day, there's always guys who had to do more to just get attention. So it's a little bit more, but the women are giving out more box today than ever.
Yeah, the girls back then were more loyal.
To think that they're all getting paid $300 for it is an actual fallacy.
No, I'm not saying 300. I'm saying that they demand this high price on the first day. The women back then, when we grew up in, the music was told about loyalty and all of that, right?
Yeah.
The music there and now, the women are taught get the bag, play him, play that guy. You get yours, girl, all yours. You get all yours. And the young men,
guys in the world, they're still having babies.
So you prove my point again.
You have to look at the bigger picture, though.
So I think it's gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse.
It's your problem. These young stupid dudes.
No, it's not my problem, but it's my son's problem. It's our 20-year-old's problem. Our 23-year-old's problem.
Does your son actually have that problem? No, he doesn't.
Hey, there's a song called. Y'all heard the song?
He told me about young women talking about
spend that shit.
You got to have that money.
Women are telling men spend that shit on me.
But they're
like, what? They're living off the music.
Yeah, he eliminates my
social media.
He just tells me about this.
Brother, I get what you're saying. I do, bro. But this is not our. Remember your mom and dad when we were growing up, and they look at us like, boy, this generation all messed up because you guys are salt and pepper looking at them with their spandex on, and you got Neo and all of them from New Jackson. And they're like, what's wrong with them? Now we're looking at our kids' generation, like, what is wrong with them? It's always a recurrent because of what now they have access to social media, and social media is telling them if the dude ain't got the bag to take you out on the first date and spend this, dump him. And the girl is looking at the boy like, well, I can't trust him because I know he got other girls he messing with. Everything is gotten even out of control more than when we grew up.
But that's all social media shit. You know why? Even though some of that's true, these same women that you think will have all these expectations of having babies from the worst kind of guys.
Right.
Well, so wait a minute. You can't keep saying right.
No,
there's a whole bunch of men out there who say,
point.
I'm not paying $300 for a date with you. You're a skank.
But it proves my point. So it proves my point.
No, it's not proving your point.
Yes, it does. Because y'all know what's going to happen. Like he just said, there's going to be a lot of people out here fucking, having sex with no family being born, with no kids still being born out of wedlock. That's where we at.
You keep moving the goalposts. You said your son is having trouble with these women.
He's told me about his. Listen, Alpine. He's told me about.
Wait a second. No,
I'm just saying. He told me about what the women are talking about.
Comes to him,
he know how to dismiss it.
If a woman comes to him saying that bullshit, He should be eliminating her from the jump.
Yes, you don't. You
So
not let me.
that's
You
the
know.
first way saying. He's
But
going to the
but you didn't let me
next
finish though. He's
one. No,
he's
okay.
he's having it. He'll meet a woman today, and within that little hours, that's what they're going to. You got that money. You got that money. He's like, he like. So once he has the conversation, he knows then he's not calling them. He's not trying to see them.
You know, only problem he would have is if he's willing to pay.
But he's still running into a lot of mindset.
Well, okay, it's a numbers game. Even
Yes.
back when I was
But
chasing
no woman was talking about bringing it back.
It got a little way out there with it.
But even back when we were cavemen, we were
But-
still having to go through numbers to
Hold on,
find the
hold
right
on,
woman.
hold on.
What are you
So-
talking about?
So money was not a disqualifier during that time, RP.
Back
During
in
our
the
time,
day,
money was not a disqualifier.
Because back in the day when a woman didn't like you, you couldn't
let
take
you
her on
know.
a date. She
Right.
said, "I don't want your stupid date. I don't even want to look at you and eat."
Yeah,
at
she
the
let you
same
know.
time." They used to say, "I don't want to go."
Money
There
wasn't a
was no phone
disqualifier.
that said you were a foodie date. That wasn't back then, right? If I asked a woman to go on a date, she looked at me and like vomit came up in the back of her throat. She wasn't going on a date. She didn't want a free meal and look at me and the meal would be ruined.
Yeah, nowadays, women to take advantage.
That's right. Women are taking that. So
Yeah,
you got to be able to
right.
eliminate those
Look out.
women. And the men who don't eliminate them, that's their fault.
And most men don't.
And
Most
that's
men
their
fall, right?
fault. That's their
60% of
fault.
men will fall right into that trap, and 20 years
that's their
later,
fault.
they'll
That's
be
their
crying
fault.
about the
They
women's.
should be crying because
the
they're
women
still-
that ain't
they're
shit,
together.
and they
Keep
just-
looking until
but
a
again,
woman who likes them.
They're starting to see that early now. Younger guys are taking a position to where they're not even accepting that offering that the women are throwing out there because they understand that it's not all in good intention. That's going to be a problem for the women in the long run.
And when a woman likes you, all of those rules go out the window.
Yeah, but men ain't gonna
Yeah,
stick
but
around to
like-
figure that out.
But
They
like
ain't
a
gonna
man-
trust a
like-
woman to like us.
Like a woman has to go
all of
through
those-
5, 6, 7, 8 different dudes before she find that guy.
Yeah,
That's
but
gonna
who
be
cares?
right.
Wait, well, that's not the point. You don't know about the five. If a woman likes you, then
Yeah,
all of
if
those
she like
rules
you.
go out the window.
Yeah.
I just said to you, the woman has to go through several men.
Yeah, but how do you
Where
know
she-
that?
No, she
Connect with the
don't. She don't
guy.
have to. She don't have to. She just chooses
How do you
to
know that?
because she don't know how to choose a good man because she wasn't around her dad.
You're not
Russell,
telling
how many
everything
days
they got.
guys that you meet before you find a decent guy?
Right. Every guy is not a decent guy. Guys.
Exactly.
Like,
I'm gonna be honest with you. In my teenager, I wasn't shit. I'm gonna say it. I wasn't
Yeah,
shit,
you
but I
was a
never
light
lied to a
skin, you had
woman.
the good
I
hair.
told them I was sitting on the girls, and they wanted to be with me, but I told them I was
Watch it-
sitting on
watch
the
it now.
girls. I'm just being honest with you. I'm keeping in my team.
No,
When I
it's
got
not-
older, I watched my dad's movement with my mom, and he was very faithful to my mom. And my brother's married to this very day, 30 years and 27. All of them been faithful. I watched and I grew into understanding that whole thing. Right, that whole dynamic. I didn't want to be one of them guys that damage a woman down the road. And then when I get older in life and I meet a woman and now she's mad and don't trust me, I can't get mad at her because I was one of the guys that made you not trust people.
I agree with
That's
that.
right.
But
You had already
that's
lived
still
that
not a man's
life.
fault. That's still not a man's fault.
And I'm sorry, I cut Precious off. She was actually giving me
Yeah,
one.
go
I'm
ahead,
sorry.
Precious. I don't know what she's gonna say, Precious.
No,
Wait,
I was
Precious
gonna
is over
say
here
that,
enjoying
you know, even if you do go out with guys on dates and things of that nature, it doesn't guarantee that you're gonna really like a guy. You know, it doesn't.
Right.
He may be a great guy. He may be, you know,
Facts.
funny, you know, whatever. But it doesn't mean that woman is gonna feel a connection, you know, with that guy.
Yeah, but that's a reasonable expectation of a man taking a woman out on a date. The truth of the matter is, these guys don't understand that. And I don't know where I got this from. And I swear to God, it's not because I'm old and I'm looking back. I had a budget for dating. I had a budget for dating. I mean, I didn't have that much money in those big dating days.
Yeah.
So every woman, every size didn't fit all. Right. So if I liked a woman, the date was just research and development. You know, if I got the home base, that's great. I just wanted to know if the chick liked me, and that might have been worth a meal.
Mhm.
You know,
Right.
that's worth a meal, right? She don't have to give up anything else. I mean, does she actually like me? And I try to ferret that shit out. And so even if nothing came of it, I never cared about the money because I had it budgeted for that shit. Right?
Right.
It's called a lost leader or whatever it's called, right? You gotta invest.
Yeah.
So today, but back then, when a woman didn't like you, I tell you, most of them would say, "Listen, I don't want to go out with you."
Yeah,
Yep,
that's facts. They call you
exactly.
ugly.
They would do that. That's why.
the biggest difference than
That's
it is
what-
today.
Dates are for data. So if, like you said, back in the day, a woman knew, I don't even want no data on you. I don't like
Yeah,
you.
I don't care about the meal either. I ain't going out
But
with
that's
you.
why I said money was not a disqualifier back then. Women,
But
what I'm saying is, even if a girl didn't like you, she didn't demand that you go do something first just to get her time. She wouldn't give you that opportunity to waste her time. And sisters back then had a little bit more dignity and morals about themselves too.
But
You know, they did do that.
Stick with that point. The fact that a woman has more demands today. Okay?
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. But the point is, to a guy who's in the dating field today, I don't have any sympathy for him because there's enough information out there that if a woman says to you when you want to take her out, you got to find a babysitter for her kids. You got to pay for her nails. You got to, if you still pursuing her, then that's
you
your
the fool.
fault.
Yeah, you the
That's
fool.
your
But it goes
fault,
back to
man.
what you said. These young men now aren't even trying to date these
That's
girls.
what I said.
Like,
That's
forget
what I'm
all of
saying.
them.
They like,
I'm
fuck all
done.
shit.
I'm gonna play
Yeah,
my
and
little
so what are they doing?
Xbox and I'm gonna keep it moving.
They're not just home masturbating, right?
But they still getting some
They
cheeks.
have a
But-
They
roommate.
gotta still be
Well,
looking for women, though.
But hold up, they still go get cheeks. However,
How
they're
are they
willing
getting and how are they getting
because they
cheeks?
listen. Some
They paying
guys,
for it.
some guys go get it just because that's who they are. Women like them.
No. Let's talk about
Some of them other dudes who was used to being there.
Some guys
them
will pay
old-
for it because they know once I'm done, I ain't got to
them
get
in the
for
closet
a while.
dudes,
I'm safe.
They
I'm
go
safe.
pay for it. They go give them that little $40, $60.
The average guy
And the average
can't
chick
get boxed.
today
The
need
average
that money.
guy can't get boxed that easy.
He'll pay for it, I'll pay.
The average
You
guy.
can get it when you pay for it. You can get it
He'll
easy.
find Saprita in the neighborhood and he'll go and give her $100 towards the end of the month.
So he's gonna pay for it.
Yeah, they already doing that. They ain't got no emotional
Because they-
connection to it no more.
And they don't
Ain't
have
no
to worry about
intimacy.
all these demands of
They
you
ain't
gotta
giving
buy
you no
me a
intimacy.
Chanel, you gotta have a Corvette, you gotta. They don't have to do nothing. I'll spend $100 than to deal with $1,000 problem. That's what these young men.
Facts.
Some of them. I'm not saying all of them. Some of them are
most of the
doing
men
that.
are just trying to bide their time until they find.
No,
a
no.
woman.
Some of them. We're not
Yeah.
saying most.
Some of them
are
are just
doing that,
playing
right?
the game. They
Some of them
playing the
just stay
game
home
to
and
do
play
what
the
they
game.
say.
They don't even want to be bothered.
Man,
don't
you
even-
get
I
this
got
out.
one for you. I got one for you. I got one for all of you guys. We can move on to after this question. You know the one guy who has box for free? It's the side dude. The side dude. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one guy that doesn't have to pay for nothing.
He ain't got to pay for nothing.
You don't have to pay for nothing. You a side dude. You don't have to.
Because he already know what the game is.
Well, no, because the woman you satisfy, she's giving it to you for free. She's cheating on her husband or boyfriend.
Right. That's what I'm saying. He
You don't
knows
have
what
to
the
do
game
nothing.
is. There's
Yeah.
nothing I got to be
But
attached
listen,
to.
you know what? I should. You know what? Back in the day when I was halfway decent looking, I went through a lot of this kind of shit, right?
He was a lot of the
What
same
I'm
guy.
trying to say is, I actually think it was an honor being a side dude.
You was the side piece. I'm
Being
paying.
a side dude was an honor.
You know what?
It was an honor.
I would say that.
Lord Jesus.
I have never been the side dude.
Oh, I
I've
did not
never
do
been.
that.
If
It's free.
he had a
You know what?
relationship or a marriage, I was like,
Well,
we
not a
can't
marriage,
talk.
but
I didn't
I'm
mess
not
with
getting
that. Huh?
Oh, well, I have to admit, you know, I have sinned.
I just know
I was
because I
about
knew
to.
me. I know how I am. If a chick
But-
did me
but-
dirty,
but
I'm
the
gonna
real
lose
thing
my
is,
I'm
that's
gonna
the only
lose my
time we got
gasket
to
over
quit.
it. So I don't want to
That's
be
the only
that
time we
guy.
quit.
I didn't want that
No,
karma. I didn't want.
I agree. It's
Yeah,
not-
I was-
that's the only time.
I was a
the only
lot
time
to
I was
deal
trying to
with
make.
as a
That's the only
teen.
time when
I
body
didn't get
really
over it.
played.
Yeah, I
It's
understand.
real.
Yeah.
In my 20s, I was too much to deal with, man.
You don't have to pay
I-
nothing. You just
Yeah,
I couldn't
I
see it.
believe you. I
I couldn't
believe
see
you.
Yeah, I couldn't. Most women want to be around me.
I love
The
that.
women that I like me. They used to like being around me. They used to just want to talk to me and shit. I'd be like, come
Yeah,
on, let's
Ferg,
talk.
you were the ultimate side dude.
Lay down on my lap. And you know what I'm
Always
saying?
asking ones.
Let
Anyway,
me
Okay,
know your
what else we got? What else we got?
Yeah, I
Ferg?
want to know what my man said.
all
Yeah.
right. So this is their response to would you
Okay.
stay or walk away? And I'm gonna bring it back a little bit more just so you guys can fully hear all the words that are being asked in the question. I know
Okay.
you answered already, but let's play it again.
Or stay.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna repeat the question really quick. Your spouse no longer wants physical intimacy
Mhm.
and refuses to discuss the issue or seek help. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Walk
Stay.
away. Oh,
I'm gonna stay.
I love that.
You love me
I love that.
because you don't know what's going on.
Right, but the part where it says again, like the other
Again,
part, the
okay.
refusal.
And again, they may be refusing to talk about it in that moment. Sometimes people need time to process.
Okay,
shit.
that's the nuance. We're not adding in the nuance.
Yeah.
We're not adding nuance in there.
You making the
Okay.
words crazy.
The nuance, I'm gonna agree with you.
Okay,
but face value.
Okay, with face value, I'm walking away.
Okay, because when you
Yeah.
say something like that, I'm thinking like, okay, I could drag this out for about 10 more years.
That's no.
Then
no,
you
no,
will
no,
be-
no, 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 no.
You
no,
said
no,
you're
no, no,
staying.
No, no, no.
You said
I'm
you're
gonna give you 30 to 90 days.
30. That's not what it says.
What did it say?
It just says no longer. Like
Yeah.
that means 30
I'm gonna give you 30 to 90 days to fix this issue,
to 90 days.
and I'm gonna get some on the side.
There you go.
Wow, really?
My
Yeah.
man.
That's a really costly mistake.
By you.
That's crazy. Yeah, by
by
me,
you.
exactly.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
that's
awesome.
why you got to drop it on the table first, yo. Hey, if you're
What
not
was she
getting
thinking?
out over here, and it ain't gonna be ain't no love, no linking up. It's just hit it. I'm back home, take care of the house, the bills, whatever.
And
Like
they
you
doing
have to
all
come
that.
to an agreement in that if you're going to stay, you got to find that medium in that. You know.
Definitely
You
got to
do.
find a
You
medium.
absolutely. I agree with that 100%. I
Oh,
do.
You have
no,
to do
man.
things differently. A lot of people are so used to their routine that they don't want to go outside of their routine to do something different that's actually going to change the relationship because they feel like it's going to just change the dynamic of who they are, change their, everyday routine. And it's like, if you want change, you got to do something different to get the change, especially if it's the person that you marry, All right. So this thing.
But Precious, you do know that most men get into a relationship, including a marriage, with at the top of the list for consistent sex from the person.
And that should not be the reason.
No. What for?
Should
What?
be one of
Well,
them.
you- well,
It should be one of
okay, now we're at something.
One
So
of them.
marrying a woman and
It's a
she's
top
going to be
30.
your wife for the rest of your life. Part of having sex with her is not the reason.
Well, that's the benefits of marrying
That's
them.
not a benefit. It's an
It's
obligation.
a requirement. Yeah, it's an obligation.
It's an obligation.
So-
Oh, but now we're
what they really saying is
Yeah,
that-
come on now, buddy. Come on now, buddy.
What they're really saying is that I there's somebody I married, I love, I know
You
I
better
can
read that
have my
Bible.
intimate physical moments with now, as opposed to going out here and I got to spend a month to 3 months trying to get next to somebody, right? This person is here because they love me enough to say that I'll give you my body and I'm giving my body back to you.
Back to you.
That's basically what he's saying in so many words,
Yeah, I understand that. I understand that
Well, that's not what you
the
said.
purpose of two people being together is to have that exclusivity. Like,
it's
my
not just being
my
together.
body
We're
is
talking
your
about
body.
marriage. We're
Yeah,
not talking about
marriage.
just being
Yeah,
together.
relationship.
I'm saying that you don't believe there's an obligation of a woman to have sex with her husband in marriage.
Yes, I do believe that. I do believe that.
That's what I want to know. Because
I
and I
do
say it that way.
I believe it's an obligation for a woman to have sex with her husband. I believe it's an obligation for a husband to have sex with his wife. And I believe that if you can't agree on that, on sex, then, from the word that I read, it's like, okay, we're going to agree to come back together at a certain time. A lot of people don't have that full circle moment when it comes to sex. It's just like, oh, well, she ain't giving it to me no more. I'm about to go get a side piece. Oh,
Well, it depends on the time, though, right? But I have a caveat, though. Can I put my caveat in?
Sure.
Can I put my caveat? I believe that it's a woman's obligation, just like it's a man's obligation to take care of her, to have sex with her husband. But let me tell you, I never ever wanted my wife to have sex with me because she felt obligated by duty to do it.
That part.
I wanted her to want me. You know what I'm saying? And wait a minute, let me say this part. That part is up to the man to make sure he understands what buttons to keep pushing.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, so I would add that in because that's the long-term thing. It's not just on a woman. She's got to want to have, there's got to be some kind of attraction that you want to maintain.
Right.
Now, I don't know what happened, what spell I put on my wife, because I actually break all the mirrors in the house. So I don't know what she sees when she sees me.
She sees
But she
me
still likes me. You know, for some reason or other.
You know what? That was what she saw.
Back
She
in
likes you.
87,
She likes you, bro. That's the foundation of love,
Right.
right? there.
Likes
Right.
that
Right.
that literally is the foundation. You know, love is there, but for a woman, the like it honestly, you want to know that the woman likes you.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
if she likes you, she's gonna
That's what I
marry
brought up earlier. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would be with a woman
And
that couldn't
then-
take jokes.
So like I said, just to move on, I think it's an obligation. But I tell the men when I talk to young guys in my family, you want her to want you. The obligation should be there, but if you're down to the obligation that she's having sex with you or duty,
yeah, it's
you're down to the bottom.
Yeah.
You want her to look at you and say, "Hey, listen, man, you know what? I'm gonna give you a little bit tonight because I feel like ravishing your bones or some shit like that." You know.
See, hold up. It's going back to setting it up, ain't it? Somebody's setting the mood up. So, that's all I'm saying, man. It can be little things, man. Yeah, man. I'm with it, I'll pay, man.
What that mean?
Oh man.
I pay your mic go in and out. It gets loud.
Yeah, no. Every so often when I cough, I just put it out. So
See, now
okay, and I'm trying to fix the settings on my side.
Professional.
I was just about to say that because one minute it was low, the next
it was
minute I
real-
almost
real high.
blew my eardrum.
Yeah.
out. What the
Hey, and that was his passion. He was letting you know when he was feeling
That's right,
passionate,
yeah,
he was feeling relaxed.
That's
I
what
put
it
it on
was.
I put it on the echo chamber just so y'all can hear me. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
All
All right,
right.
so we're gonna get into this one about a couple who is having intimacy issues, and the woman wrote in about what she should do.
Important is physical intimacy. I just have a question.
Depending on if it's good or not.
A 33-year-old female, and I need some outside perspective because I've been in circles for days and I can't tell if I'm about to make a huge mistake in either direction.
Okay.
My boyfriend, who is 33, is genuinely one of the best people I've ever met. Kind, funny, big heart. We have loads in common and we make each other laugh. I love him, and it took me years to find someone that I feel this way about. So I don't say that lightly.
Okay.
The issue is physical and sexual connection.
Yeah.
And I feel almost embarrassed that it's just that because everything else is so good. But it's a big deal for me. And not only the sex itself, it's the making out, the being wanted, the closeness of it. That's a huge part of how I bond and feel safe with someone. And with him, it runs quite low. Since the beginning, he has made it clear that physical touch is not his primary love language. It's mine. And it was evident early on that light caresses and moments of intimacy don't do very much for him on an emotional level. He is an amazing cuddler, and I feel so amazing when he holds me, but his drive is lower than mine. He said he doesn't really enjoy making out. He tends to check out partway through, and I quite often feel more like someone he's fond of than someone he actually desires. For what it's worth, I do feel incredibly attracted to him despite all of this. And whenever I've brought it up, he always says that he's very attracted to me as well. And that I'm so much more than just a friend, which is what I've accused him of sometimes making me feel like. The fact that he's going through a genuinely awful stretch right now, burnout, low, hates his job, makes me think that that's a part of his low desire. And that may have something to do with it, and that it'll lift and he'll be in a better place once he's through it. But even when we started dating 9 months ago, as much as we had great chemistry and high attraction, he was always very clearly less into bonding through physical and intimate touch with me. Lately, I've been landing on, I think we should break up, thinking of my frustrations in the long term, and then we have a warm moment and slide back to, but I love him and he's good to me, and maybe I'm throwing away something rare. I'm honestly the most stuck I have ever been. I'm also a bit isolated. Moved cities, hard to make friends here. And I'm really trying not to let fear of being alone be the one thing that keeps me in it. So I guess my questions are, from experience, how important is this stuff long term? Has anyone stayed through a physical mismatch like this and has it gotten better, or left someone they loved over it? And how do you feel now? Am I too young to just accept this, or am I about to blow up something good over something that I feel I'm being left out of? How important?
That was a book.
What was your question, Precious?
So the question is, they were dating for 9 months. How does she handle this situation? That she says this is a great guy. I think the greatest guy that she's been with. And the only issue is the intimacy.
She can't go further with him.
Yeah.
She can't go further with him. She's got to break. I don't care how she feels about it, because right now it's her self-preservation. Later on, it's going to be his if they go further. He's not attracted to her in the way she needs to have attraction.
Exactly.
And for women, that's more important to women, I think, than it is really to men.
Yeah,
Right? I really believe that. I believe that a man can marry a woman that he loves, even if her box ain't the best, right? Because there's other things about her that he wants, and the sex is something he can, because he's satisfying himself anyway. So, but if a woman is not happy with the sexual stuff, that's just never going to leave her, especially if she has an orgasm and all those kind of things, and he ain't that interested. She can't stay with that guy. She's doing him a disservice and herself a disservice. She got to find a new guy.
Well,
And the fact that she might not get all the other stuff that he provides, but I can guarantee you, everything else that he provides, if she's not satisfied in that area, it's gonna destroy their relationship. I believe that. I really do.
I see where you're coming from on that, and I don't disagree with it, but I'm more focused on the one key thing she said in that whole speech she gave. She talked about what he was dealing with, his job, things of that nature. That's why he's not. No, we can't say that. Let me ask you this question, fellas. Let me ask you this question, fellas. If I took all your jobs away and took your income away, you guys are telling me right now you're gonna feel powerful in your household around a woman, knowing you can't provide and carry the house. You're telling me you can do that, and it won't psychologically mess with you.
No. You're right from a point.
That's what I'm looking at, because she said that.
Let me just say this. The fact that she knows about how his job is impacting him and they just dated means that he's at a deficit already. I've been married for 100 years.
Exactly. He's psychologically, he's breaking himself down.
The fact that she knows is a problem.
Right. Yes.
I
was trying to lean into that. I was just trying to give you my understanding, right? I'm trying to figure out why he said.
I'm trying to answer your question. I'm trying to answer your question. The fact that she knows about his job and his problems is a problem. As a man, I don't know why he would sit back and tell his girlfriend about his problems on the job. I've been through so much shit, and my wife doesn't know half of it. Okay, I had to solve it. You don't sit down here and just give your vulnerabilities to some honey and talk about that's why I don't want to bang you out.
We're talking from us from the 60s and 70s, right? This guy,
that's true.
Hear me, and you hear me out. Hear me out.
I know.
This guy was raised in the 90s. He was raised from the 90s, right? So their thing is that I'll tell him all my issues, right?
Man.
And that's what he did. He dropped the issue. But all I'm saying is this. psychologically, my man is feeling broken, but he is attracted to her. Oh, girl needs to sit down and girl has to sit down with herself and say this:
Tony,
do I want the relationship or do I need the sex?
Well,
She
let
has
me
to
get
sit
out.
down with herself on
She
that.
need to get out of there.
Don't keep moving
Come
on
on,
the
man.
point.
Yeah,
You made a
come
point.
on, man.
Okay. I'm not disagreeing with the point 100%. But why is he talking about that with his girlfriend? And
That's how he was raised. That's what he saw. That's something that came in his
No,
nature.
that ain't
This
how he
has
was
nothing to
raised.
do with whether I'm old or not. This is 2026 shit. I don't think men need to be bearing their souls about what's going on in their job with their girlfriend.
No.
And then
No.
telling her, hey, listen, my job is tough. That's why I don't want to bang you out. Get out of here.
Facts. What are we talking
A
about?
Muslim doesn't believe in a Christian's way, and a Christian doesn't believe in a Jehovah way, and a Jehovah doesn't believe in an atheist way.
Lord Jesus.
But hold on. But every one of these religions is going to tell you how you're wrong and how you're handling life, right? That's what we're doing with this guy. He comes from an environment that probably
No,
taught,
Corey,
and
no
they
excuse.
spoke and opened up to each other,
No
and
excuse.
that's what he thought he'd do with
No
his wife,
excuse.
his girlfriend.
No excuse.
That's
This dude
from
is in
your
his 30s.
perspective. That's what you're.
This dude is in his 30s, right? He's in his 30s. He's already shut down emotionally because he ain't giving her no intimacy, Precious. Remember that word we was talking about? He ain't giving her none of that. He's sitting there, touch me, rub on me. But then he talking about
But
his
that ain't
job.
what she said in her letter.
Listen, I know,
And none of that.
but what I'm saying is, I'm
Go ahead.
verbalizing what he ain't doing. He just sitting there like a rock, and then he want her to
Because
be
he's
all
broken.
into.
The man has
No. The dude is psychological. That ain't got nothing to do with it. Listen, the job is something his ass chose, right? The level of education, the level of prosperity, that's what he chose. But he also
he could have had a great job if something changed.
Listen, he could have.
We don't know the story. We just know that he said his
But
job
what he
is
shouldn't.
affecting him.
Okay, so what he shouldn't be in is in a relationship. That's what he shouldn't be in. He should be man enough. He should be man enough to say, "Look, sister, right now I got too much going on. I'm gonna bow out." But you know what he's doing? He's doing just like a '90s baby.
You can learn that. All you gotta do is just listen.
Her like a little boy. Then he want her to initiate everything, and he gonna be trying to my job. Man, what the fuck you doing on the job? Every man got to go work hard on the job, man. What are you doing? Lifting boxes, because that's the only job that can be hard.
Like cartoons right now.
Are you doing construction? You ain't doing nothing. You ain't doing nothing to really build the world. Are you working at Amazon, FedEx? What are you working at? Are you putting together cars? Working at a major? What are you doing to where your job is stressing you with all this physical work? Because if you speaking to that capacity, and it's affecting her, how she's starting to look at you.
Oh my God.
Get out. Now, I'm not saying break, but I'd rather them to break amicably, because if she's questioning it and bringing it to the world, it's already done.
She's got to
Don't get when the lease is over with. That's why I don't believe in playing house. You get out, let him go get the help he need about his emotion. And so, Precious, that intimacy is important to a woman.
Big time.
And she like, nigga, I need you to rub all over me. You just want to be a military position. Nigga, I need you to flip me off his shower curtain.
Right.
That's what she wants.
Slap
he ain't.
Way down. Yeah.
So it seemed okay. So my thing with this video is that she knew in the very beginning who this man was.
I don't think so.
No, if you listen, I'll play it again. Listen closely. She knew that his love language wasn't physical touch, right? He made that known. He said it doesn't do anything for him. She
is physical intimacy. I just have a question.
Depends on if it's good or not.
A 33-year-old female, and I need some outside perspective because I've been in circles for days and I can't tell if I'm about to make a huge mistake in either direction. My boyfriend, who is 33, is genuinely one of the best people I've ever met. Kind, funny, big heart. We have loads in common and we make each other laugh. I love him and it took me years to find someone that I feel this way about. So I don't say that lightly.
Okay.
The issue is physical and sexual connection.
Yeah.
And I feel almost embarrassed that it's just that because everything else is so good. But it's a big deal for me. And not only the sex itself.
She said it's a big deal for her.
It's the making out, the being wanted, the closeness of it. That's a huge part of how I bond and feel safe with someone. And with him, it runs quite low. Since the beginning, he has made it clear that
Since the beginning,
that physical touch is not his primary love language. It's mine. And it was evident early on that light caresses and moments of intimacy don't do very much for him on an emotional level.
Okay, so right there, are they suitable?
No.
No.
No,
He don't like.
No.
He don't.
Not
He
so-
wasn't raised that to be affectionate. He's
Right.
not affectionate. He obviously. We don't know his story, but it sounds like he was not around people who were affectionate. You can't be something that you're not around. Like
Exactly.
it's just like when you are dating somebody and she doesn't know how to be a wife, like you can't make her be a wife. Like you're gonna marry her and then you're gonna expect her to cook and clean and she can't boil no water.
When doing that shit, when you slap them cheeks.
So I mean, we really have to evaluate how we look at people, and we have to listen to what they say. You have to
Yes.
actually listen and not be so quick to want to have sex, because if somebody tell you they don't like to hold hands or they don't like public affection, you need to listen, because if you are a person that likes public affection, guess what?
You gonna
You're
always
not
be-
going to get public affection. And that's not just with intimate stuff. That's with other stuff too. Like if a person tells you, "Oh, I hate football," and you love football, guess what? You guys gonna have a problem.
Mhm.
Like if she can't even be around you to watch football or to even be like, "Hey, I made you guys some wings. Enjoy the game. Or whatever." Something. You got to be mindful of these little things, because they will turn into big things in the end.
Yeah, you know how many women will know that they man boys coming over to watch the game, and she want to be all up in the mix. Girl, if you don't go in the back room, let him have his time. Bring him some wings, bring him a platter, bring him some chips and dip. But beat it. You know what I mean? Like some women have an issue with their man having a good time or having time to himself, and
Mhm.
that's an incompatibility, because as time goes on, he's going to end up being like, you just never happy when I'm happy. Like, you
Mhm.
just have an issue with that. And that is something that will linger. And if you don't take care of it, and sometimes you have to chop things at the root. You can't allow them to keep going on. See, a lot of women will say, okay, well, he's not affectionate and he don't like to hold my hand, but he provides everything and he buys everything and he's funny, and but if that is something that you need to feel safe and you're not getting it with this man, there's nothing that you're going to be able to do to change him. Now, earlier I said if I was in a marriage that I would stay, yes, because I'm committed to you, but again, I wouldn't be with a man that I know does not provide the things that keep me safe or
Or
make
you say yes to the proposal.
right.
Right. So that's my point. So she's got to leave him. She's
Yeah,
got.
she's
They're not married. She
she's
can
more
get out of this easy. They're not married, so she can get out of this pretty easy.
Right.
So it's not really that deep a thing. Hey, listen, he got all these other attributes, but you're telling me that shit don't matter. The thing that matters to you is these things that he's missing.
Right.
Right. So it tells me that she's willing to take less in those other areas.
Yeah.
As long as she gets more in the area that is important to her.
She's not going to get it.
One of the
Well,
problems with
she
black
thinks
women, by
she's
the way.
willing to take less.
That's
and-
fine.
and
You missed my point, Leon. That's one of the problems with black women.
Yeah.
They want
So-
they want the shit that they want, which is not necessarily
Yeah.
the number thing, and then they accept all the bullshit because
Right.
you know what? There's a lot of Pookies and Ray Rays out there who give her all the affection she wants.
Yeah. And why do you think that she chose him knowing that that's what he said in the beginning, right? Because a lot of the women of their peer group believe that they can change a man.
Yeah.
That's an obvious red flag that she avoided, right? And it was important to her, but he had that Johnson that she liked. I'm gonna be real with that. She saw how he was swinging and be like, yeah, I can change him. And here he is. Some time later, she's still not getting that intimacy.
Yeah, he's
'Cause
rational.
He's not going to change who he is. He's not going to change. He told her. But she like, oh, but now them other dudes touching on her backside and holding her shoulder that she liked. So
Yeah, and then you got two nickels to rub together. Listen, I just tell you, you know what, man? You know, I've come to the conclusion that if it's not for the black man, the black woman needs us so bad that it's not even fun. Right? When we got black men, you guys are left to your own devices, the results are out there. Your guys need us in the worst kind of way. Oh, it's just crazy.
Yeah, I don't disagree that we we definitely do need our black men.
There's some guys standing up though. There's some more guys standing up. Y'all gotta find them.
I think that she, again, dates are for data. You were dating him for 9 months. You collected the data that you needed, and if you find that you guys are just not compatible on that level, then you should probably count your losses or whatever you think you're counting. But move on, right? Because and especially, and it's not to say that you're kicking a man when he's down, but like y'all said, like in your 30s, there's nothing wrong with him vocalizing what's going on with him to a certain extent. I don't think that women should know every single thing that's going on with the man. I don't agree with that because women want to be able to feel safe, feel protected, feel provided for. And if you continue to tell her, the issues of, that may interfere with any of those sectors of the relationship, she might be like, okay, can he handle this? Is he, can he really provide for the family? It's a difference between going through a hard patch and then someone who, just has this pessimistic spirit, who just is just down about everything. Like, get away from me.
About it.
Come around me with no pessimistic spirit. Yes, I can support you and I can help you, but I'm not going to sit in misery with you. Like that. I don't do that with anybody. Like, we either finding a solution or you're not talking about it with me. Sorry, I can't help you. You don't want to help yourself. So,
so funny. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think that she has collected some data and it's not really computing with what she truly needs to feel safe and feel protected. And so I don't know, maybe they were better off as friends. Maybe they shouldn't have dated. Maybe, he is somebody cool to just go to the movies with or, go get a drink with. But at the end of the day, when you're thinking about building something long-term and something as serious as marriage, then you do want to be compatible on the levels that make you safe, both men and women.
He sounds like an excellent, he sounds like an excellent, guy in the friend zone.
The way that he presents is like he wants to be in a friend zone because what woman is really not. I mean, there are some women that are, I guess, maybe are not affectionate either. There's somebody out there for everybody. There are some women who grow up in a home that don't hear "I love you," that don't get hugs, that don't get told that they're beautiful, so they keep moving. You know what I mean? And they're not used to it. So maybe that might be a woman that's compatible with him that just, don't want to be touched.
He sounds like a perfect side piece, right? That's all he is he's a side piece guy.
No, I disagree with that, Ferg.
You know why? Because he ain't giving no intimacy.
That doesn't mean
just about intimacy. It's about interest in general. Like he just
sound like a good.
He wants to have sex with her, but he ain't giving her that.
He don't sound like a good side piece. I think you're misreading that one. It sounds like it sounds like he's rationing the Johnson. You don't even want to give that up. You know, so
He's a
I'm
good
just
side.
saying he's a good guy to sit back and listen to her bellyache about everybody else and all that kind of shit. Just guys like that, you know.
Yeah, and I think that I everybody thinks that relationships have to end in like marriage and things of that nature. You
They
can
don't.
get your needs met in other ways. Like you don't. It doesn't have to be marriage, walking down the aisle, white picket
Right.
fence. Like you can get your needs met in different ways. And I think, and it's not necessarily using people. You're just seeing where people are more valuable in your life than not.
Yes, listen, me tell you, it's the basic nature of women to use men. It's a
I think
basic
everybody
nature.
uses
It's
everybody.
No. There's no equivalency. There's
Yes,
a
it is.
basic-
Y'all will
Well, we could sit. This is a whole different topic, but there's
anyhow.
women. If they can't find utility in the man that they're around, he's not in their orbit.
Well, that makes sense. That's logical, right?
No, well, no, it's only but not to the depth you're making a surface. That's why friend zone exists. The friend zone doesn't really exist because men have women in their friend zone. The friend zone exists because women have random male orbiters in their friend zone because they extract what they want from every man who's in that orbit. It's not always sex. Men are not the same because pretty much our friend zone, the women that we have in that no man's zone is only there because the one opportunity that where we can get lucky. That's it.
The one opportunity you can use her.
The opportunity to get lucky. We got that. The women
Right,
are in our
you
zone.
be using her for your natural
Because women are using men for everything else. Women use men for everything, or else we're not around. Women use men for conversation. Women use men for everything, and it's not. See, this is not a negative thing, by the way. It sounds negative, but it's not. I think it's natural. Women, if I tell women all the time, I says, listen, if you count the 5 guys who you're closest with, you don't have to be having sex with them. You could tell me everything about that guy that you extract from him, and that's why he's in your orbit. If a man doesn't have any utility to a woman, he's not in her orbit. I got videos on that. I did a whole live on that one. I really did. And I have so many examples of it. It's so subtle that men miss it, but it's inherently the truth about women.
Are you saying that these men don't get anything from women?
For the most part, men who are in the friend zone don't get shit from the women they're around because they're playing a long game for her to get weak so he could bang that shit out just once.
So you're saying they're voluntarily.
Let me tell you this. I have a video that will be good for you to look at. There's this woman. She was married. She had a guy in the friend zone from 2017. He was in the friend zone through her marriage, through her baby she had, and her husband died. So around 4 or 5 years later, she wants another baby. She can't find a guy. So she goes to him and says, I want to have a baby. Will you be the donor? And so she was thinking about IVF and all that horse shit. He said, hey, he's in the friend zone that long. He said, well, why don't we do it naturally? So she was reluctant at first. So she finally gives him, she says, let's go ahead and do it naturally. So he finally says, holy shit, I'm in there. So now he's having sex with her. So when it comes time to give her the seed, he pulls out and just splats it over everything else, And she made a video of this. She says, I still like the.
You done lost your damn mind. When you get your damn mind, you call me.
To see me because all he was thinking about, I finally got a chance and a reason to bang this shit out, and she gave it to me. And when it was time for him to give her the seed, he didn't do it. Now, his thing was, I didn't want this to be a one-time thing. So he says, listen, we could do it again. Let's try it. And so she's talking on the video about this. I got to find it live. I'm gonna send it to you when I find it. And she says, I don't hate him for it. I kind of understand it. And she was trying to she wants another baby, but she trusts him. But all he was thinking about, I waited 10 years to be able to get a piece of this ass, and I got it. And I couldn't just leave it in. He took it out, and maybe I can get two bangs out of it. Maybe I could get 3 bangs out of it before I get her pregnant. And that's exactly what he was thinking about. And I don't give what nobody says. I know why he pulled out, because he wants to get it again.
Yeah, he put investment in it. He put time in it. Yeah.
Do you know how big of an ask it is to ask a man to give you a baby? That's
That shit's
such a
diabolical.
huge ask. You know,
Diabolical.
that's it's almost diabolical. She
Ejaculate.
even enticed him by saying, "Listen, I'm coming into a whole bunch of money,
Just selfish as
and I'll
hell.
take care of you and all that, so you don't have to worry about child support." I don't know if he believed her or not, but he probably did believe her.
You better sign a contract.
I gotta find a video. I'm gonna send it to you.
You better sign a contract.
I'm gonna send
Bro,
it to you.
get a contract. Get a contract, bro.
That's the diabolicalness of the
Get a
friend
contract.
zone that women put men in. That they'll play the long game for the rest of their life just for the opportunity to get some. And that's what women have.
And that's how y'all make women crazy. That's exactly how y'all make women crazy, ready to chop
We
off.
don't make y'all crazy. Y'all make men crazy.
Facts. Y'all make us crazy.
Okay, so y'all are saying she was married, husband died,
Her husband passed away.
she had this man in the friend zone. Like,
For
I guess
years.
women can't have male friends, but he's
Well,
in
you
the friend
can.
zone, is what y'all call it, right? Because y'all got to put quotations around it. You have to emphasize that it's a friend zone. It's her friend that he's known for 10 years. And so she asked him because she wants another baby.
That's right.
And he agrees
Like a fool.
just to come all over her and not.
Yeah, but first she tried to entice him by IVS. Let's just capture the sperm and do this. He says, and his thing was his retort back to her says, if we're gonna do this, we got to do it naturally.
Yeah, because he wanted to clap his
That's the point I'm making. If
Right.
you waited for 10 years, I want
Dude.
to taste the nectar.
Yeah, dude will be a friend zone for 10 years. She wasn't. Yeah.
Can you imagine the long game of this asshole just sitting down listening to her bullshit for 10 years?
He didn't wait for. He didn't wait.
can't
Precious.
do it.
He's sitting down here
Like, what in the world?
No, Precious. He knew that he was gonna wait in the game. He wasn't waiting on her.
Crazy.
He wasn't waiting on her.
A woman can't have a male friend and expect this man to respect her as a woman.
Do all that. He gonna respect you.
Well,
He gonna respect you.
It has nothing to do with respect.
Right. He gonna respect
This
you.
whole notion that a man who wants to sleep with you automatically doesn't respect you is not true.
Right.
That's a fallacy. You think men don't respect the women they sleep with just because they sleep? That's not true.
Right. It's not true.
I can respect a woman and want to have sex with her. Come on.
Yeah.
That wasn't respect when she asked you to do something.
No. He went back on that thing. But
At
the
17 and come all over her instead of
hold on. The fact is that doesn't mean
because you had your
But she knew he was. She
because
knew.
you had
He
your
lied to
own
her, but he lied to her. I'll give you that.
10 years. Now it's she had women friends.
man.
Ain't no man gonna be
Yeah,
friends with a
10 years.
woman and he ain't
10 years.
smashed.
And why? And he not doing what?
If he didn't smash and didn't want to smash,
Yeah, he wanted. Well, first
he's
Okay.
not waiting on you.
Okay,
He's not
if
waiting.
you're not gay, you're gonna want to have sex. But at the same time, if you have a female friend, you're gonna respect that boundary and have some.
Yeah, you ain't gonna
respect the
you
boundary.
ain't- He'll never violate
He
it.
respected the boundary for
Yeah.
10 years.
She came to him.
Respect
She
it.
came to
Because
him.
who said that you had a
Yeah.
timeline? Who said that there was some time on when we not
Listen,
friends no more?
you know what? It's so easy for you, Miss Precious. You're pretty and beautiful.
Yeah.
You're so easy for you to say this. This
No,
guy
I'm
is
not
waiting for
other
this. You have never waited in the friend zone for a guy for 10 years.
Why y'all?
Okay, you don't have no idea what that means.
No,
He's sitting there.
y'all
She's
men don't
extracting
bring on your own
everything from
misery,
the.
right? Because you bring on your own misery. You lust after a
No,
woman.
I'm not saying
Now
that.
he lusted. He was
I mean,
afraid.
A woman
I'm
that
not blaming it on the woman.
He was afraid. He wasn't
you lust
lusting.
after a
No,
woman.
I'm not blaming it on the woman, no.
You
I'm
lust
just saying,
after a
man,
woman that you want.
man, any man
And
who's in
then
a
say,
woman.
"Oh, we should be friends." You my bestie. You so cool.
I'm telling you
Your
that
homie.
that he was giving her what she wanted from him for 10 years.
He was
He
giving
wasn't just
Right,
sitting
what,
there
friendship?
idle. She was unloading her burdens. She was unloading her issues. She was unloading everything on this guy. He's sitting there saying, God,
Ladies,
you know
go
what?
to a therapist.
I'm being the best friend I could possibly be for this woman. And she knows that I want her in the worst kind of way because you guys are not that naive.
No, because you have a penis, you want me. I'm
No,
not.
it's not because we have a penis. So well, that's part of it. But the fact is, we have a certain nature. But let me ask you a question, Precious. What's the point of a man having a whole bunch of women in his friend zone?
That's the
his
thing.
zone?
You
Well,
should-
what I'm saying, what is she offering him that he extracts from her that he needs so badly, other than the sexual power she has? Unless we're in a business partnership, I can dig that.
humans.
But most men, that's why it's not. Most men tell you guys all the time that we don't want to have a whole bunch of women in the friend zone. It's not like it's a big secret. Men say it, the high value men say it, the low value men say it, the middle guys say it, that, you know what, we don't have a lot of male or female friends, you know, because that if we're in certain settings, man, we're going to want to bang it out, man, especially if you're
Right. So,
and that is not a sin. The one thing that I hate about men today is that women have tried to shame us against our own nature.
no,
And I take umbrage with that, because the point that we have to do is be in control of that nature. But don't deny me my nature. I can't be willy-nilly about it. I'll guarantee you that. But don't tell me that something that God gave me is a sin or bad. I hate to hear women say that. When I walk to a woman, if I don't know you and I'm not married, if I talk to you and I want to take you out, I want to talk to you, let me tell you, it's not the beginning, but you're attracted to me. And at some point, I kind of want to see you naked. You know, and until different things change. Like as a married man, right? As a married man, I have to, as a married man for all of this time, I didn't put myself in positions to where I would be weak about that. I didn't go over women's houses. I didn't cultivate relationships that, you know, would put us in intimate settings, because I know that the nature of man, that it's about temptation. With God on the temple for that 40 days and all that, Jesus up there, the truth of the matter is temptation is not good. And it's natural, so you can't put yourself in those positions. But I just can't, not you, but I just hate when women try to act like a male's nature is something negative.
we're not.
It's not.
We're
It's
not
not.
acting like the We're fully aware of the nature. We're fully aware of the nature, right?
Right. And different men.
However, you guys use it as an excuse.
It's not an excuse.
You
This
use
guy
it
was down here listening to her bullshit for 10 years.
listen to her bullshit for 10 years.
Oh,
This
on her bullshit for 10 years. And
Forever.
just asked this man for the greatest
cut it
gift.
off. But that's one thing.
She asked this man to give her a baby. I gotta find that video. I will find that video. and give it
Because
to you.
you think in your mind at some point you'll get your chance. When in
But-
reality, you
Thank
need
you.
to cut it
Now
off
you get it.
because
Now you get
well,
it's
who's
called
gonna
a
cut it off?
long game.
But Precious,
Let
she
me
kept
also
him
say-
around.
let me shut up. I'm gonna shut up on this one because you know what the ultimate long game is?
What?
The ultimate long game for a man with a woman is asking her to marry him. Back in the day when you couldn't get any, the one of the reasons why he asked her for her hand in marriage is so he could actually taste the fruit of what she has to offer. But he was willing to marry her for it.
Well, I mean, that's how.
Yeah, but he didn't know any different. I'm just trying to say, but let's not move the goalposts. It's the same. It's the same. It's not different than what I'm saying. he was willing to go to that length. Maybe men don't have to do that anymore, but he was
But
willing
them
to
men
say,
doing that.
actually,
They
would
want
you
to
Amen.
marry me?
possible to get what they want. Okay, back in the
That's
day,
still what you want.
men understood that if I want this woman to be with me and I want some of her cookies, I'm going to have to invest in her. I'm going to have
No, Precious.
I'm
No,
going
now you should say invest. Not
Precious.
invest.
You know
Marriage
what?
is not just an investment.
nowadays men want to be your friend and think I might get them cookies.
Nope.
Yes.
Nope.
Yeah, I'm gonna say my piece before this thing drops off again. I'm gonna tell you.
Go
Both
ahead,
of
man.
them were
I
at
talk too
fault.
much. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Old girl had him in a holding pattern for 10 years. And old boy made a choice to ride out 10 years. Bottom line is 10 years, you telling me you didn't see other women out there that you needed to kick it with,
He
chill
probably
with, whatever.
He
He
was
spent
knocking other women down. That's
okay,
true.
so here what I'm saying then. So at the end of the day, they both did some immature move here. She kept him in a holding pattern when she should have just basically told him, I'm never going to kick it with you on any levels at all, where you think that it'll be me and you. She allowed him to be in her world so she can drop whatever emotional baggage she need to get out of her about the marriage and her problems on him. He sat there and said, I'm gonna take it for 10 years. At the end of the day, they both did each other dirty. I'm just gonna keep it like that.
He
They
didn't
both
do
did
her
each other dirty.
dirty. He didn't do her dirty.
Yeah, he did because this is how he did her dirty. No, this is like because I've been down that road doing that game he did. That's a chump game, right? That's a chump game.
Yes,
You ride.
17
I ain't gonna ride 10 years out first and foremost, but he rolled it out for 10 years and then he get his shot, right? She said, I want a child. So he decided, okay, yeah, but he don't give her the child. He's working it out to get him a few more licks in. Now, any red pill influencer followers and anybody who follow them guys like, because Samuel, even Kevin Samuel said, men don't do women like this. He taught that. But the guys who follow this will say that what I'm saying, oh man, you talking like a simp. That ain't simping. What that is that if that's simping, old boy allowed a woman to put him in a holding pattern. So he was just he was weak minded all the way through this for 10 years. Old girl ran fraudulent because she kept him in there for 10 years because she needed somebody to vent whatever she needed to vent out. They both ran game on each other. And this is the result of their game.
But they both were acting within their nature, though.
That's what I'm saying. They ran game on each other, yes.
But they wasn't having sex, right? So he respected her marriage, right? Because a woman, hold up, Precious, a woman giving another man her intimate parts of her conversations, her intimate, especially talk about her marriage to another nigga sitting out in a car, bar, park is violation. He just sitting there. Hold up. He's a friend. He's a man. She's attractive. So, okay, you can come talk to me, but when we leave, I'm going over Sue's house at 11:30. And she knows this because she ultimately came to him to give her, like Arpeng said, one of the most precious and dynamic things a man could ever give, a child. And look, they still ain't talking about relationship. So the cycle goes, niggas just gonna be fucking and ain't trying to be in no relationship.
She should have just asked.
But you're only telling me what I said. They both played each other and they ran game on each other. They both ran game.
But most
so they wasn't even friends to each other. They ran game at the end on each other.
She even came to him for that.
I don't think it's game.
She played the game.
Yeah, it is. Oh boy said. Oh boy said yeah to giving up the baby.
I guarantee you was a female's friend for you. You were never a female's friend. You seem like you female's friend.
Women to use men.
Oh yeah, I did female friends. Yeah, but but you know what?
Did you want to have sex? Did you want to? Okay, so he could be
women I chill with that I just didn't find that natural.
Hold on,
there were women that I was cool with. That I'm like, oh, I'm smashing this when she put it on the table.
That could be where he was at with her. She's cool.
I ain't rolled 10 years out, bro. What I'm saying is that
but a true friend,
years out.
A true friend. We've been knowing each other ever since college. We friends.
So a true friend would have said, look, I'm gonna give you the baby on the first shot. I want a couple of more, right? but he didn't do that.
No, he would have said no.
He
A true
snatched
fan
out.
would have been like, no.
No.
Friend,
That ain't
no.
a true friend. That's like
Don't
me
even
and
give
you.
her the pleasure, bro.
I'm gonna
Don't
keep
give
it
her
real.
the pleasure.
That's like me and you. We cool friends, right?
Don't give her
You give me $100,000, and then you come hit me up later about I need that 100 grand back. But I'm like, I'll get around to it to you, bro. You know we good friends. We tight. You know I got you. Now you waiting out 10 years. In them 10 years, I finally show up and I give you 50 grand.
Oh,
You
that's
gonna
not
look at me
that's
sideways
not
like, bro, I'm gonna need my other
a good
50, right?
example,
That
man.
ain't being a true friend because he didn't stick to the game plan. She said, I want the baby. He
That's not a
pulled
good
out
example.
and he said he
She
trying
want
to
the
get a couple
baby
more
10
shots
years
in.
later, though.
That is,
She,
But that's not a good example,
you're
man.
stuck on the 10. You're stuck on the 10. I'm talking about the
but she
friendship
can't.
and the agreement.
But
The
as a
friendship and the
friendship,
agreement. That's all I'm concerned with.
I stuck
That's
to the
all.
friendship agreement. I didn't say have
No,
sex. I didn't say
no,
give me. She came to him.
What you
no,
gonna say, Precious? What you
no.
gonna
All
say?
I was saying that her husband died, okay, and she
Right.
wanted another child.
Okay.
That's right.
She thought
Okay.
that she could trust the person that she's
Well, she could trust.
Her friend.
for
Well,
10
hold on.
years.
Let her
If
finish.
he had a different intention, he should have been man enough to say, look, I like you way
Wow.
more than just to give you a baby. I want to be with you, or I just want to have sex with you because I found
friends.
That's why.
no.
That's why he
Y'all
negotiated.
definition of friendship is effed up.
That's why he negotiated, saying
He
she
didn't negotiate. He just said
He
yeah.
wanted
The
a
letter
baby.
said he said yeah to the baby, and then he pulled out before he gave her the baby. So
Right.
he didn't negotiate. He deceived her into getting his hit in.
She said she
After 10 years, she owe him that.
baby. She wanted the baby, and she offered like some IVF shit, right? He said,
Right.
"Listen."
She wanted to do it the safe way.
No,
so
he said,
that
if
wasn't
I'm
Kevin
going to
cheap.
do this, if I'm going to do this, I want some bonds.
She gave
And she
in.
gave him some bonds, and he didn't give her no baby.
She
He
agreed.
didn't give her no baby, and she gave him some
They
bonds.
did the do, and he was wrong for not living up to his part of it.
That's all I'm saying,
But
bro.
I don't disagree with that. I think that was the nefarious part.
Yeah.
That was on his part. But
Yeah.
the problem I have is the ask that she put on him. And she wanted him to go through 10 years of looking at her and her sexuality. And she wanted him to do it in some cup or some shit. You want a baby? I gotta feel that. I gotta feel the
No,
bob.
you don't. No, you don't.
Come on.
Well, like I said, bro. Like I said, bro.
My friend, you
Like I said, she did him dirty too because she knew he gonna say yeah because he went 10 years with her. She knew she had him in a holding pattern in there. She already knew that. She just thought that I probably ain't gotta have sex with him because he been there for 10 years. I can make this request.
He's
Right.
such a dweeb. He's gonna do
Yeah,
it.
exactly. So they both did each other dirty. That's all I can say. to that.
Yeah. Listen, all I'm just trying to say, I thought it was interesting, and she wasn't that mad at him when she continued on. You women
So
do
can
your
beautiful
story
women
time.
have friends? Like we
Yeah,
beautiful
you can
women
have friends. Well, you don't have friends. I'm just wait. Listen, most men say to women, you can have all the male friends you have. Just don't be naive about it. How many different scenarios on social media where a woman says, I have a male friend, and somebody, let's call him up and see if he'd take it if you give it to him. Hey, Joe. Hey, listen, he never had no, hey, listen, you know what, tonight I decided that, you know what, maybe me and you should take this to the next level. I could tell you that maybe 5% of the men will say no.
Yeah,
That's
because
a no show.
Going in. Yo, this
it's
whole
going
thing
to
is
override that question every single time. It's
who overrides it.
a true friend who
That's
just like,
bullshit, man. That doesn't make him not a true
you
friend.
just talked about a
Why
man's
does it
nature.
make him?
You
Why
just
does it?
talked about a man's nature. So if you ask a
Well,
man,
no,
if
I'm
you
asking
call
you a
man
question.
of a
Why does it
beautiful
make him
woman
less
and
of
say,
a friend? Now, let me ask you a question. Why does it make him a less of a friend? Because he wants to have sex with you. That doesn't make him less of a friend.
It
It
changed the
does.
dynamics of the friendship for sure.
right?
But that might change the
Dynamics
dynamics
of
of
the
the friendship. That doesn't mean that changed it because he was willing to stay in this no man's zone, knowing that you know that all he wants to do is bang you out, but you're gonna
That's
keep him in
different.
there.
That's different though. If a woman
how
knows
is it
that that's
different?
all, if that's all the man wants, then
That's not
yes.
all he wants. He
That ain't what he
proved to
wants.
you that's not all he wants. He's
Well,
in
at
his
the
friend
end of the
zone
day,
for
that's
5
the
years.
prize. At the end of the
Yes.
day, that's the
Yeah,
prize, though,
yeah.
right? That's the
Yeah.
prize. That is the
Listen.
ultimate prize.
Right.
That's the biggest.
Well, but
All I know
point is,
the
you
dynamics
can't.
literally changed in that
If a
friendship
man
because
is in
now
your friend zone,
she will move a little different and a
that's
little bit more uncomfortable around him.
if a man's in
That's
your
what's gonna
friend zone
happen.
for 5 to 10 years, he's already proven himself that he's willing to stay there. He's willing to give you everything you want from him. And if you
Mm.
never give him a chance, he's not going to take it over the edge. He's just going to live there. He might live his life elsewhere. He might do other things. He might have other girls. And he'll stay in your friend zone because that's where you put him. And most men will just stay there. But the point really is that if you ever give that guy an opportunity, 99% of most of the guys are going to take it. That doesn't make him a bad guy. You can't discount the fact that he's willing to stay in the friend zone and listen to your bird song stories and all this shit and all of that kind of stuff and do all the bullshit that you need him to do. Fix your shutters and all this other kind of horse shit and not never approach you, protect you, do all that stuff. That doesn't make him a bad guy just because you gave him an opportunity and he took it. That's not making him a bad guy.
Right.
No, it's not making him a bad guy, but
Doesn't make him a
it really changed the dynamics of the relationship
Yeah,
because
but
the woman, just hear me out, brother. I heard you out. Just hear me out.
Good.
The dynamics change like this. Now she
I agree.
becomes uncomfortable with the friend she thought was the best friend now because now she realized
But
he
she's
has
the one who opened the door.
right, but hear me out. Because now she hears what he has a desire for. So it changes her dynamics in her head, like, okay,
Tony,
this isn't what I thought it was anymore. It's not the
Tony,
reality
can I ask
that
you
I
a question,
once
Tony?
believed. Now
Tony,
it's
you're
a
a
different
smart guy.
reality.
Tony,
Huh?
you probably had a lot of box in your day. You think over that time this woman didn't know that this guy doesn't want that box?
No, it's not about not
No,
wanting, right?
I'm asking.
It's about physically, it's about really.
I'm asking you a straight question.
I've
Whether
had
you-
women tell me that when I play school,
I'm
they be like, I never even thought you was interested in me like that.
A woman who has a man in the friend zone, she can't play naive that she doesn't know that if
Don't
she
have friends,
turns the
ladies.
key and
What I'm
lets him
saying.
in, he ain't gonna take it.
I'm not saying play naive, but I'm saying to you this is what I'm saying to you.
Can't even have
Once the woman has heard it in reality, in its physical form, it changes her dynamics and her feelings about the situation. That's all I'm saying, bro. I'm saying you right on everything, but
Okay.
once that happens, the dynamics change. Period.
I agree. I agree.
And you can't be naive to that, right? Y'all talk about women being naive and men being in the friend zone. You can't be naive to the fact that at some point, if given the opportunity, you would take it, which means that yes, you like her as a friend, but at the same time, you low key, like this girl for real.
That's not low key. That's not low key for a man. And
well, what is it?
If he's sticking around for 10 years, I'm gonna be honest with you. He's not being low key. He's making it known. He's just not being aggressive with it.
Hold on, Anthony. Let me say this. You had your chance. Let me say, Precious.
Fair enough.
A man could like you and stay where he's at and still have some sexual intention. The truth of the matter is he's not getting enough credit from you for being able to put that shit on the back burner.
Credit?
No, credit in mental credit, okay? Most men,
credit for controlling yourself?
Why are you acting like the fact that a guy who might
what do I need to give you credit for?
No, it's not you.
Oh my God, you didn't ask to sleep with me today. Great job.
No. And you see now you're trying to you maybe I'm not using the right words. I'm trying to be articulate a little bit. But because you called a man low key wanting to have sex with you.
Isn't that what it is? You want to do it?
No, wait a minute. But Precious, if I'm hanging out in your friend zone and I never approach you because you told me we're not going there. And I do, and when you call me, I answer the phone on the second ring. I answer the phone here. I do this and all that kind of shit. And I never, ever act like I want to have anything for you, right? You can't tell me that that guy is somehow evil in the back of his mind, saying if this woman ever allows me in, I'm taking the opportunity. That doesn't make him a bad guy.
Right.
It
I'm
doesn't.
not saying that it makes
No,
you.
but you keep saying it's low key. It's not low key. It's something he suppressed. It's like men. You act like men don't know how to suppress their sexual desires. We do. Men know how to suppress their sexual desires.
All I'm saying is that there are men staying in this 10-year, friendship or whatever, and he knows that he is interested in her. He knows that. He knows all of that. And when the situation comes about of her wanting a baby, he takes that opportunity. An opportunity that's very huge for a woman, right? It's not
yes.
Play. This is a huge situation, right? He takes that opportunity to fulfill his desires that he's had. And now he pretty much plays this woman, okay? After she's like, look, we can do IVF, like we don't even got to do. We can still keep that platonic friendship going. When you use a situation to fulfill your selfish pleasures, then you're a bad.
Why see you keep adding the metaphor that he's selfish? He's not selfish.
Then you would have did the IVF.
He's not. Well, listen. No, you're okay. Let me say you're not wrong. Okay. If I waited 10 years and you wanted something from me that big, at the very least, I gotta taste the goddamn goodies. At the very least, I gotta take. Now, the only thing he's guilty of is pulling out.
Right, because he said that he was going to do that.
But
he didn't keep his obligation.
I'm with you on that part. I am 100% with you on that part. But you know what? The woman herself said, even though she was disappointed, that she don't hate him for it, and she kind of understands why he did it, and she's willing to go through it again.
Like I said, that's that holding pattern I'll tell you about. She do 10 years. She has something out there that she can go
to. I gotta send it to you. I gotta send it to you.
Typical, so she's gonna keep going through the cycle until she realizes.
You know what? He had to probably get it around his head what it really means to be. Even though she says she'll absolve him all the daddy duties, that's really bullshit.
Well, no, because if they about to do it again, and let's just say
no. She told him even before the first time that he wouldn't have to worry about the daddy duties. But do you as a man, do you really believe that? I wouldn't really believe that either.
Because if you wanted him to provide you,
that's why you get a contract. Sign a contract. You got to sign the contract.
Now I'm mad that I gotta have saved this stupid video somewhere.
Yeah,
I'm bad because I gotta send it to you, Precious.
You gotta have a contract, man. Go into that. That's a contractual thing.
Exactly. That's not a handshake.
She'll come back on you and take you for child support.
What you said,
maybe she thought.
I ain't mad at the guy. If I waited 10 years, man, I gotta get.
I ain't mad at him either.
Man,
I ain't mad that he wanted to taste it. He wanted to enjoy the cookie. I ain't mad at that move.
I would have said, listen, I gotta taste the fruit at least 5 times over the ovulation period.
There you go.
At least
put a number up, right? 30, I gave 10 years. Put a number on that. Yep.
I would just say, oops. I'm saying this acid reflex. Reflex of pulling out. I didn't mean it, but I forgot.
Or he should have put in the contract. Look, I at least did 5 hits before we done. Like you did 10 years, and she came to you for a kid. Like, give her the kid on the first one and say, okay, I get 4 more. It's in the contract.
The first thing I'm gonna feel cheated, man.
Because that's an odd request.
Couple minutes.
That's an odd request.
That's why you pulled out. Now, all right. So,
Hey man, life is funny, man. I tell you what, man.
We're gonna get to this
Golly.
last video. We're gonna get to the last video. All right, so this woman is talking about her man cheated. We have to understand that intimacy is a responsibility, right? It's not something that comes like the sun rises every day or like rain falls from the sky. Like it's not a natural thing that just occurs like the weather. It is something that you have to build and cultivate and continue to drive that engine. And this woman is saying how she wasn't emotionally connected, and then her husband end up cheating on her, and she's explaining why her feelings matter.
Kind of felt like too long, so I should probably just go ahead.
Rewind it all the way back from the beginning.
Hated intimacy with my husband. I actually dreaded it. I would literally count the days in my head where 3 days kind of felt like a number that kind of felt like too long, so I should probably just go ahead and do it. And every single night we would get in bed and I would lay there with anxiety because I would feel like he probably wanted it. But even throughout the day, I hated him touching me. Every kiss, every cuddle, every back rub, it would give me the slight anxiety because I felt like it came with an expectation. One time he suggested we did one of those 30-day intimacy challenges and I cried. Another time he bought those like spicy couples card and I literally had a full-blown panic attack. I remember Googling therapists to try and figure out why I felt this way. I remember scheduling doctor's appointments why my libido was so low. I genuinely thought something was wrong with me. I thought maybe it was my hormones, maybe my drive was just broken, maybe I was just one of those women who just did not enjoy intimacy at all. I remember even saying to myself, if I went my whole entire life never having intimacy, I would be okay with it. For basically 10 years, I was asking myself, what is wrong with me? After our divorce, I became determined to figure this out because I never wanted to bring that into another relationship. After our divorce, I researched, I learned, I just became curious. I bought the toys. I just wanted to figure out and break down these walls of why I felt the way I did. But then I realized I don't hate intimacy. I hated feeling emotionally disconnected from the person I was being intimate with. I hated feeling like physical connection was expected while emotional connection was missing. Looking back, I felt so emotionally alone for a long time. I didn't feel emotionally pursued. I didn't feel seen. I didn't feel emotionally safe. And when your heart feels disconnected, your body follows. If I'm being honest, I still do carry guilt over the fact that I wasn't able to give him that part of our marriage. Because I know intimacy matters. A marriage can't thrive when two people feel disconnected, and I own that. But here's what I don't own, his decision to cheat. Because even though I felt emotionally neglected, even though I felt lonely inside my own marriage, even though I wasn't getting my emotional needs met, I still did not go looking for another man. I didn't start another relationship. I did not lie. I did not betray my vows. Marriage problems are real. Dead bedrooms are real. Disconnection is real. But when those things happen, you have conversations. You ask for counseling. You fight for your marriage. And if nothing changes, you leave with honesty. You don't secretly build intimacy with someone else. Cheating wasn't something that happened to him. It was a decision that he made, and it wasn't something that I pushed him into. It is not my responsibility to carry the shame and the responsibility of his own choices.
Are you on mute, Precious?
So, yeah, it's not her responsibility to carry his decision to cheat because she wasn't emotionally connected to him. What do you guys think about that?
So that's similar to the first video with the sisters, and they haven't really had intimacy, right? For these, apparently she must have checked out at some point. Yeah, she's married. She's married. She must have checked out mentally and emotionally somewhere along the line. I don't know. I couldn't just. What did she check out before the cheating or after the cheating? Seems like she was already disconnected before the cheating, right? She has no control over his actions. If he tried to have the conversation with her about whatever it is he needed and she didn't act on it, then now we saying leave or stay. If he cheated, then I get that. You know what I'm saying? She has to make a decision, but she was already checked out mentally. And she's a poor young white girl. I love poor young white girls. They want to be black so bad. They want to be black so bad. She had, but it's big. Her issue is bigger than her husband. It has nothing to. He's part of it. He escalated the issue with her, but her issue is outside of him. Because why are you making a commitment to check out? You didn't say there was problems
to check out after he cheated.
Well, after he cheated, then she's hurt. She's hurt.
She wanted to, like she said, she was willing to have the conversations and talk about it and be honest about what was going on in the relationship, but he made a decision to cheat and not carry on those conversations and not understand where his wife was coming from.
I thought she needed intimacy though. I thought she was lacking that, similar to the first video where they wasn't giving that intimate communication. And some women thrive off of that. And it ain't about sex, right? Just a good massage on the shoulders, work that little knot out in her shoulders because they get stressed out over shit. Massage the feet. Running bath water, certain things that could provide that in a short period of time. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to be up under your woman all day talking,
right?
Like, you know what I'm saying? But just certain little things. But if you know your spouse, you can pick up on those things. Like, oh, she had a long day. She's just getting here at 6:30. You know what I'm saying? So
doing any of those things.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So she checked out. She wasn't communicating those things. But then when he cheats, when he cheats, she communicates all that shit. Yeah.
No, I think you're adding things like you usually do, Coach First.
When he cheated, now it's the problem. It wasn't a problem when she was doing what she was doing.
Yeah.
She had already checked out. Instead of having the conversation like, hey, husband, I need these things. And this is where, again, people ain't really talking. Is that people act like the shit that's supposed to just happen automatically. You got to at some point, if it's draining you, depressing you, you don't want to go home, then you got to have a conversation instead of bringing it.
Your husband knowing your wife, is it not a conversation
that takes time
either?
But to know
knowing that your wife is, distant from you emotionally, not connected to you, like one person can't be connected to a relationship by themselves. So if somebody is not connected or not feeling emotionally involved in the relationship,
Precious, I don't think women understand the pressure men put on themselves to provide for their families. They're not always thinking about, oh, my wife need a back rub. No, damn, I got to go to work. I got to take care of this. I got to do these things. Instead of just asking the question, what's on your mind?
Okay. Well, when you get married, you do know there's more to it than just.
Yeah, I'm married, by the way.
You're not single anymore. So
I'm married.
You have to have those conversations. And if there is a lot going on with you, then you open your mouth too. Like, like you say, you can't read each other's minds.
It's not a 1s and 0 thing, right? Because there's no wrong or answer. Neither you. She started the video by saying that she hated. I take the word hate seriously more than anything else, because I'm 68 years old, and I can honestly say I've never hated anybody in my life.
Exactly, I never hated nobody.
Because the point of being able to hate somebody is that you got to remember that you hate them.
Yes,
the energy that it takes to hate is unbelievable. And when she got a video saying that she hated touching her husband, that means she automatically stripped any intimacy, emotionally or anything else, from that man. So she's not taking accountable account, and she even kind of said it at the end. Oh yeah, I got to take. But he cheated on me. She cheated on him first because part of your vow is to love your husband, and the fact that she took that from him and expected him over 10 years to whatever. Now he should have divorced her. But I like when women just say, you know, she's just for men who get the brunt of divorce. If I don't know if they had kids, it's an economic decision you got to make because women will rake you over the coals in the court. And I don't care if anybody tries to avoid it. So maybe he stayed around because he wanted to make his kids get to a certain age because he didn't want to see anybody. He was living in a living hell with that woman, a living hell. And she's not taking any accountable. She took a little bit of couple, but I wouldn't tell him to cheat. She already destroyed their marriage. I can't imagine my wife thinks she hates my touch.
Facts.
Not just don't want to give it to me.
Right.
She hates the ground I walk on. That shit is deep, man. I'm serious. I've heard women say, you know what? I'm not intimate. I don't like them no more. I'm not sexually attracted to them. But she's the one who used the word hate.
Hate, yeah. That's
hate. What did he do to her? And we only have one part of the story.
Not much of anything, obviously.
But when you
just come in as a provider and think you're doing something, you're really doing what you've been doing. If you come in as a provider and you're providing, you've been providing for yourself. And now you're choosing to provide for someone else. So if that's your only claim to fame in a marriage, you should let that go.
Well, we don't know if that was his only claim. Let me tell you, you know what? If I was providing for a woman, I don't know if they have any kids. They didn't mention that. Now, hopefully they don't. Hopefully, God, they don't have any children. If I was providing for a woman, right, and she's living with me and she's got the damn Annie Banks red hair shit hanging down. Yeah. And I still married her, and somehow me providing for her makes her hate me. I gotta know what I did to this woman to make her hate me touching her.
It is not you providing that makes her hate you.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I need to know. She can provide that though.
It's the lack of intimacy.
What intimacy we talking about? You know, if okay, let me just say this. I'm gonna shut up because I don't want you to go. Because what did I do to make you hate me?
Thanks.
You know, but that's what I'm saying. If I was one of those,
right? She hated him.
If I was one of those stoic men, if I was a stoic man who didn't show emotions and all that kind of shit, I can dig it, right? I could dig you not liking me. I'm not emotionally attached. But the word hate has meaning. We can't do that.
To listen and listen closely, okay? Because this is part of the red pill culture. When you just hear what
it has nothing to do with red pill.
Yes, it does. Because when you hear what you want to hear, when you hear what you want to hear, then you make up stories that you think need to be told, and you're off.
Okay.
He hated the act of sex. Okay, because of
with him.
It would be with anybody. Of course, as a man, you're going to take it
with him.
Can you replay the beginning of that?
Okay.
She says it out of her own mouth.
I couldn't hear the video, guys. That's why I'm quiet.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, he didn't even hear the video. You should have spoken.
He put it in the chat.
Hated intimacy with my husband. I actually dreaded it. I would literally.
Did you catch that, Anthony?
With her husband.
Okay, I'll tell you, when y'all bring the video, whenever y'all go away from the screen, I stop hearing this stuff, but I can hear y'all in the background.
But there's subtitles like to the right of her mouth, so I guess.
Yeah, but they're small. I'm on my little phone, which is I'm gonna use my Samsung next time around.
She said she hated intimacy with her husband. That's how
with her husband. She didn't say she hated her husband. She said she hated intimacy.
That's the same thing. You hate intimacy. You hate me. What are we talking about?
What's the difference you trying to make? I hate intimacy with you. You're such a pariah.
I can't hate your spending habits without hating you.
No, Precious.
I can hate the way you smack when you eat your pork chops without hating you.
Okay.
I can
Okay.
hate a lot of
Because she
things.
hated the way
You
he
can't
looked.
hate me not touching you without hating
Yeah,
me.
she
If I'm
hated
trying to
his
touch you,
Y'all so
if I'm trying,
emotional. Y'all
hold
so
up.
emotional.
So you hate me if I can't touch
Hey,
you.
oh my gosh, you hate
If I'm trying to touch you 8 days a week, 25
Well,
hours a day, and you
apparently,
say, dude,
look,
don't touch me. That's a
look,
hate
I'm just gonna.
move.
I like I said is that if she married him and now she reached a point where she hates him touching him, obviously my man's game has gotten whack.
Yes.
'Cause
Oh,
somewhere early on,
oh,
somewhere early on, she loved him touching because she married him. But somewhere the dude's game got whacked when she like, I hate him touch. He must not be performing intimate mental games like he used to. We don't know what the case is, but
well,
it just sounded like to me
hey,
somewhere the dude's game got whacked and she got turned off and he went and found playtime somewhere else and she shut it off. And honestly, here we go again. Two people doing teenage stuff all over again.
why
And
is it
it is ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
why is it
And she
teenage
never
stuff,
said we
Tony?
tried to work it out for a little bit, but
No,
then he
she
ended
did
up
say
stepping out.
if you listen to it, he said he tried these games, he tried this, he tried that. I hated intimacy. She never said.
You're right about that.
She
did
never said
challenge.
what he did for her to vomit in the back of her throat just thinking about touching him. I still haven't. She's the whole video. I haven't heard her say.
I didn't
And
hear the whole video.
and at the end of the video, she says, I got to take some accountability for making him feel that way. She says that. Now, and the only point she's making is that even with all that, even the fact that she made him feel like a piece of shit on a Sahara Desert, the hot sun. The fact that he went and got some box from somewhere is the only issue that she got. You know what I'm saying? Come on. I mean, how much? I mean, they've been married for 10 years. 10 years. And you know what? He should have divorced her first. I agree with you. But he was probably trying to save the marriage, and she didn't want to have nothing to do with it. And you ain't getting this box. If you stay in this relationship, you're going to look at me, and with my red hair, she probably got nice boobs and everything. And he can't get none. You know, I mean, come on. I mean, why do women sit back here and think that, you know, one of the primary things we ask of you is, I'll give my life to you, baby. But every so often, can you just take care of me? You know what I'm saying? If I'm begging you. Every so often, do I have
Think
to
about this, right? Think about this. And I see my battery finna die right quick, and I apologize for cutting you off because my battery finna die.
Right there, man.
Adam, think about it. Adam traded up a whole planet for Eve when she offered him the apple.
That's
Adam
right.
knew the power of God, right?
And we should
What
kick
I'm
it.
saying here on this brush is that a man that really is into his woman, he will give up everything that's important to him for her. That's all I can say to that part. So whatever happened in this marriage, he got turned off. He made a different decision, and this whole thing played out a different way. He stayed in the marriage for trying to save it. Like I said, we will say Adam gave up a planet. He said, God, I'm not trying to hear your rule, even though you told me not to touch the tree of knowledge, right? We can go through history. We can talk about emperors who have gave up their empires or lost them for women. Men will go to extremes for the woman that they really want to be with. They will give it all up because becomes the greatest prize or the greatest gift he can ever have in his lifetime.
I agree with that. And sometimes we give it up for the wrong one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sometimes we give it up. You know what? That's another thing. But that point, though, Tony, is a real big point. But women don't appreciate that. When a man thinks he's got the woman of his choice, I mean, we give everything. Man, I tell you, my wife caters to me like crazy. And you know, and I don't question that. But everything I have, is hers. Everything. You know, and I'm saying, you know, and we are, you know, and it's not just old school shit, because I ain't unique. You know, because I think people in 2026, if you're intentional enough, you can find that. You can actually find that. Except that you got to make sure that the person on the other side is thinking the same way you do. And I don't think we ask the right questions.
Yeah,
you know, when we go through this. And so that's the point. there's still people getting married. There's still some wholesome people getting married. I don't know if they're going to have the track record of 20, 30, or 40 years and all that kind of shit. But most people are getting married later anyway, so they don't have 40, 50 years, But, I don't feel like I'm some kind of unicorn. I'm just another asshole who fell in love. That's what I think. And my wife felt the same way. I don't know. I didn't have no roots and shit. She looked at me and she agreed to what I said. And I said, God damn, I can't blow this.
Wow.
So I wish a lot of more people would see that. So when I say shit, that they can see what I'm saying. I really do. I just sit back here as an old guy. I can't even get on panels because people say, oh, motherfucker, I don't want to even hear what you got to say. I'm a pariah. If I don't have my own thing, man, forget it. But I understand that. Some places I don't belong. If you're in the 40 ages, the 40-year thing, people say everything you say it doesn't apply. And that's not necessarily true, but I accept that because they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. I don't think we've changed. I think women have changed more than men.
Yeah.
I think women have changed more than men. Your expectations have changed more than men, but that's not necessarily a good thing. Some things is good, but some things it ain't. Because in the end, you can't be a new modern woman and want a traditional man without wanting to be a traditional woman in some respect as well. And that's the big problem. And then the man who, if he ain't particularly full traditional, we can't expect to have a traditional woman. So there's some compromise in there people ain't willing to make. And that's a big problem. But I don't understand some of the problems that men and women are having together because God ordained for us to be together. And the fact that we're not together the way we should be is, I think, demonic.
Demonic.
Yeah.
Demonic from the standpoint that the devil has too much sway in the way we think.
I think that social media and
demonic.
I think that social media is rooted in demonic natures. I do think that, right? And so because social media is available to any and everyone,
everybody, yes.
That demonic spirit does take over people. This is why I took a break from social media. This is why, I'm not married to this. This is what, you know what I mean? You have to watch what you listen to. You have to watch what you look at. You have to. I was raised that way. I was raised in a house where the was blocked.
See, I'm younger than you, but so was I, and you still was that way. Yeah,
right.
I can dig it.
So that was part of a training growing up, a structure, discipline, right? And so people don't have that discipline nowadays. And so yes, that demonic nature is taking over. But I do believe that there are people who are meant to be married, and there are just people who are not.
I agree with that.
Okay. You know what I mean? Everybody is not meant to be married, and if you're not meant to be married, you shouldn't try to force it because society is telling you that you should be married. I don't believe that you should do that. I think that if you desire marriage and if that's something that you want, then you should stick to your guns and pursue it. But if you are single and you're like, I don't want no kids, I don't want no man, I don't want no husband, then you should pursue that and contribute to the world in a different type of way, right? But nowadays we do have the demonic spirit of social media where you're just able to scroll up on any and everything. There is no censor. There is no matter how many times you try to block something from your algorithm, it still finds its way back, right? We have to do, as people, as humans, have to do a better job of doing that for ourselves and not relying on, I don't like this content, so I'm going to check that. Like, no, maybe you just probably shouldn't be scrolling for 5 hours. Maybe you should, watch what you're looking at, or censor what you're looking at, censor what you're listening to, who you're listening to. All those things are important, but because everyone is glued to their phones, their tablets, their laptops, their MacBooks, whatever the case, it's harder for them to implement that discipline for themselves, let alone somebody else. And then you're just dealing with a mixed bag of tricks when you trying to find love on the internet. you know, that's another thing too, that a lot of people are on the dating apps and paying subscriptions to the league and things like that, where it's just like, you really don't know what you're going to get when you do it that way either. You know what I mean? So it's better to just be real with yourself so you can be real with everyone else. Like I say, right? Like, you know, you got to be real with yourself. And if, you know, dating and the marriage thing is not for you, and some people are serial daters. Some people know marriage is just not for them. And so they enjoy having companionship through dating. And if that's the case, then cool, that's for you. But make it known that that's who you are. That's what you enjoy to do. I think is when people start deceiving other people, or maybe, you know, making them think it's one way or not the other. That's why you have to be real with yourself and real with others. But it's also why you have to, as an individual, have discernment in yourself and know yourself and know your creator. Because if not, you're going to be swayed any type of way, and these social media streets will get you. The temptation of whatever will get you. It runs deep. So we have to be mindful of those things. But as far as the video, I think that, you know, both parties, we talked about earlier about, you know, sex being a obligation for a woman, for her man in a marriage. And, you know, I'm not derailing from that, because I believe that it is. However, if, you know, a man wants and desires and, you know, is pretty much promised this sex through a vow, right? And he's not getting it, and it's not coming naturally for this woman who was supposed to be giving it to you, then you both have to question what's going on. Arpain, you're right. He did try to have a 30-day intimacy challenge. And I think that, you know, that is a step in the right direction, because most men probably would have just been like, yeah, we're not having no conversation about this. I need sex. You ain't giving it to me. I'm going to go get it. Right. So he did try. You're right. He did try. I was wrong about that. He did try to fix the issue. And so it does seem like it was more so of a self issue for her. And as a woman, we have to ask ourselves, what is it? I think Coach Ferg, you alluded to it when you reacted to the video and said, you know, it's a her problem. And while we can be in a relationship and have relationship problems, we also have to look ourselves in the mirror and check ourselves as well. Like, okay, what about this situation as a woman is making me uncomfortable? Why don't I want to be intimate with my husband? What is really stopping me, without blaming him, without pulling him into the equation? Because yes, it takes two to tango, but we all make our individual decisions. Just like he made a decision to go outside the marriage, she made a decision not to give it to him and to refrain from giving it to him. And she thought, Arpain, after 3 days, I felt like that, you know, that's too long. So now I got to give it to him. No man wants sex out of obligation. They want you to actually want them. They want you to actually yearn for them. So, you know, she does have to take more accountability in the, why am I uncomfortable with this? I saw someone in the chat say, you know, did they ever have any type of intimacy? For 10 years, like, you know, they had to have something, right? I think a lot of times, you know, you hear this a lot, that men and women, they're dating, having sex out the wazoo, right? They get married and it slows down. Well, there are a couple of factors that may play into that. Maybe children, maybe health issues, whatever the case may be. But again, individually, you have to ask yourself and you have to assess the situation, saying, girl, you used to throw it back on him every night and now you're not. And now he's mad, and you can't be mad that he's mad because you're not doing something that you used to do, that he loved. Right. And so we as women have to take responsibility for that too, and try harder and show up better and really be honest with ourselves, so we can be honest with our husbands who are requiring that intimate act from us. And it's not just the sex, right? It's more than just that, because if you don't want to touch him, you probably don't want to look at him. You probably don't want to talk to him. You probably don't want, like, it's way more than just laying down in the bed and having sex. So, you know, while he tried, and, you know, maybe he could have tried a little harder, I don't agree with him cheating on her. I think he should have said, you know what? If you truly can't get to this level with me, then we're going to have to figure something out. We're going to have to figure, and it's not necessarily he leave it, you know, would you mind if somebody else came in? Because obviously you're not, like, you know what I mean? You have those conversations in the comfort of your phone. Right. People make deals and and configure their relationship for what works. That's wrong, and you shouldn't be doing that. And no, you do what works for you, but you got to do something.
Yeah, I just think that her using the cheating as a cop out is that, yeah, it's wrong, but and we don't know if they didn't have that conversation or a conversation about her lack of intimacy with him. And
They
I
had
can
to
understand.
if he implemented that challenge.
Yeah, but even her saying, "Well, that's not good enough. I wanted some emotional attachment, and he didn't give it to me." We just don't have the other side of the story. So, but she's after all she said, her pinnacle was that even all the stuff that was going wrong, even the stuff she agreed to, she never cheated on him, but he cheated on her. And I'm saying that doing what she did, as far as I'm concerned, is cheating. Because when I got married to you, when I asked you to marry me, we agreed to monogamy, and that means I can't have sex with nobody else but you. If you take that away, you're cheating on me. Just because you didn't sleep with somebody else,
Yeah, she cheated
now
you
I
out
don't.
of that.
Yeah, she cheated me out of something that was intimacy for me, and now he didn't have the right to go out, but if he waited 10 years or something before they got a divorce, and I think he filed for divorce if you listen to the long story, that means that he was holding out in a world of pain for a very long time.
Yeah.
For a very long time. And so she's right that he shouldn't have cheated. But she can't lean on that to say that he's some kind of bad guy. Look what because women don't do that. Every time a woman cheats on a man, she got some horseshit story to tell him how he wasn't available, or he wasn't there, and somehow I needed my needs met, and all that kind of bullshit that the women say when they cheat on a man. So here's a reverse kind of thing, So it doesn't make either one right, but that's the same
Right.
exact example on the other end for a man. I just think that the women don't have that calculation about divorce because they usually come out better in a divorce than a man. So it's not easy for a man to pick up and say, "I'm gonna divorce this chick," knowing that there's a judge that's gonna butt bang him for leaving.
Not butt bang.
So I'm just saying, it doesn't sound like they have kids. I don't know if they have any children. She didn't mention that either.
Yeah, she didn't mention that. I'm gonna say no because you know how quick women be throwing the kids in there.
Yeah. So maybe he got it off easy, but he should have probably, just say, "Listen, if the sight of me repulses you, let's end this marriage and let's move on."
Yeah.
Let's move on. That's what he probably should have did from the beginning. And so there you go. So I mean, I thought that was a pretty good thing because she's adamant. She's a cute woman. Let me tell you, she's not a bad looking woman. And I'm just saying, I gotta go home every night knowing that every time you look at me, you're vomiting in the back of your throat. That's just tough, man.
Yeah, she ugly.
I mean, come on. So hey, I'm sorry for him. Hey, listen, I pity people in that situation.
Yeah, man.
Hey JR, thanks so much for joining us. However, we have come to the end of another men's forum. This has been a great show. You guys give your final thoughts and then we're gonna get up out of here.
Yeah. Well, you got mine. So what's next? Go ahead. Listen, the only final thought I was talking about the conversation we had. I think I believe personally that women don't like to hear this, but women look at men as utility knives. And if we ain't fulfilling some utilities for you, you don't have no use for us whatsoever. And I think that's a natural thing from the beginning of time.
Right. Adam had to work.
No, hold on now. Hold on. That's just my final thoughts. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you're right. Your final thoughts.
I just think that women look at it, and women look at that as a negative thing. I just think it's a natural thing. I have so many videos of women saying, I have one woman who was married. She's not married no more. Her husband's gone. A guy who was her court, a suitor. He liked her. He has money. He's been around. And she told him, I listen, I don't really want to go on a date. I'm not into that. But if you rake my leaves and mow my lawn, maybe I might think a little bit differently. That's the same shit that I'm talking about. Tell him that if you make yourself useful to me, that maybe I'm not promising you anything, but maybe you might be able to move the panty to the side.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And she's not promising, so, but you got to clean her whole yard and fix her shingles and shit and all that kind of stuff, because that's what she wanted from him. Because she wanted him to be useful to him like her ex-husband was. You know, and so I mean that's what women say. I had a young girl on that Undisputed Truth, that one guy who does the interviews. He had this young girl. She says, I have 5 guys. She says, yeah, I'm young. I got 5 guys in my rotation. He said, you're sleeping with all of them? She says, well, not all. She's lying. She says, but I look at one guy for this. And he says, well, you mean you look at them as a utility knife? She said, kind of. You know, this guy does this guy does that. All I'm just trying to say is, hey, listen, listen, I think, you know, I'm married. I think the reason why my wife still has me is because I'm still useful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, you're married. Listen, Ferg, you're there because your wife thinks you're useful. And that's not a bad thing.
She can send me to the streets.
She like hit the road.
Yeah, I'm not saying she's going to hit the road, but let me tell you, if you lose, I spent a lot of time. I'm going to shut up here on this one. Being able to finance and keep a household, raise 2 kids, get them through college on your salary for 38 years. If somebody tells me that there's no pressure on that, I'll sell you a bridge in Brooklyn. I'll sell you a bridge in Brooklyn. If you lose, you know, I love my wife, but she's still, you know, I'm just saying, I never put her into the position where she had to choose. But that was a conscious choice. That was a conscious, that and the grace of God. That and the grace of God. Because I'm saying most guys I know, when they fall short, they're on the clock with their women. You're on the clock. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. When you're going to get that shit together. So, you know, if you guys are out there, make sure you got your shit together before you sit down. I'm done.
Thank you, Arthur. I appreciate you. Coach Ferg.
I mean, listen, I appreciate these conversations, man. Listen, man, I had 2 non-negotiables when I was dating. Both of them I've always had met. I've never had to pressure nobody into liking my ugly ass at any point. I never laid in the bed and nobody wanted to touch me, turn their back on me. That would have been diabolical, because I was I've always been sort of quick to disconnect for somebody who showed me that they didn't like me. That was guys and girls. And you talk stupid to me too many times. One time you didn't shoot ball with me no more. And girls, if they didn't like me, I appreciate the fact that they would let us know up front when you think you're throwing your little rap game that you wasn't, I guess, none of their, you know, they don't like light skin. Okay, I'm not going to force you to like me. I appreciate that time. Today, women are a little different. They know that they up against a clock. They know that times are different. They also see that men are actually men are growing into learning who they are today. Those days of men willing to just be a grass cutter on a hope and a wish of getting some, they ain't going for that no more. They stepping away from that. So they're making sure that they get in the transaction up front. I'll cut your grass if you give me some of that grass or that ass. That's what they're saying. They're not doing it like Keith Sweat songs, and like my man said, they ain't listening to Jodeci. They ain't listening to all that music we listen. They listen to that bitch I don't give a fuck about you song. So they growing up in a mindset, and now with this thing of YouTube, the barbershop has expanded. Men are going to cheer other men on to not go through the subjugation of years ago. Man ain't saying volunteer to be a stepfather today because they see what they have to go through. And the women have no cause about demonstrating that, but then they crown the back end. And man ain't giving in. That's what the future's going. And I'll say this and I'll shut up. I admire our pain more than anybody on YouTube. He's where I wish I could be. The things he talks about, he does. I'm emulating that in a different way. I'm a hands-on guy. I'm like to fix shit. I might not cook too much, but I'm a fix shit. My wife told me she want me to add on her little dresser. Her little sewing board. She know I can do all that shit. So she's using me as a utility.
Okay.
But in that covenant that we signed and the man read out loud, we when we go to that good book, niggas hate to lie on, it do say that she got to fulfill her role too. So I don't have to be discussing that with her. We sleep in the same bed. We know when we need to get close because I'm a touch and I'm a feed because that's a part of it. And I understand there's certain times,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be for you. Same with me. Shit, we older now. I don't need no every 2 days, 20. Catch me once, twice, 3, 4 times a month. You know, you see it in my face and my back. And I think just having conversations.
Walking all hunched over.
My wife works from home, so I see her all day. When I wake up, I see her all day. She expresses to me all the time how she enjoys being around me. We joke on each other. I'm talking about we joking. She want me to, my wife, I don't know what it is with her, but I told her as the opposite of mine. She has talents down there. She guess who be doing her toes? Me. Coach Ferg be doing toes. I got to clip them and I can't even see good. I got to have my towel and my special light to get.
I'm gonna work on Myra's feet. So now let me stop.
But she also gives me my intimacy. Part of my intimacy is food and touch. I need you to touch my bald head. I need you to touch my back. I need you to touch my thigh. Hey, I need you to rub my shoulder. I need that. I've always needed that. But I understand that I'm not going to be forcing somebody to do it. I'm going to have a conversation. Hey, do you do this? And I like to know how people respond in stressful moments. So I've always been able to sort of just figure those things out early. My mama told me a lot about women. My sister showed me a lot about the women that I'll be dating. Every woman that used to act like my sisters did in the house when they were upset, I stayed away from those type of women. They cool to look at. I can talk to you, precious, and we can sit at the bar for 3 hours and he and ha ha. But I'll never ask you for your number if I know that's how you move. Mm-hmm. I ain't gonna, because I'll see you again. See, guys don't understand the art of then when you outside dating, you're running to some of these women again. Right when they feeling that sexy bone. Because even single people want to have sex. So the first of the month, she's on her cycle. She got 7 days, 5 days. See, I'm at the point I've been knowing how to count those days forever. Towards the middle of the month, she's ready for Nug, Lil Tony, Lil Ron. She gonna call somebody, and one of them go, whoever answer the phone first, that's who coming through. And she gonna give them her utility, and she gonna say, listen, my baby gotta get some new shoes. I need my hair and nails done, and Lil Tony and Nug might drop her 100 because they understand that's all she want. She's not looking for intimacy. She's not looking to build a marriage. She's not looking to live with somebody. She want to do her thing her own way. And guys are understanding that about women because women have no quarrels about letting guys know. And that's where it's gonna, I'll give it maybe 10 more years. And women are going to be begging. Listen, fellas, if a woman wants your seed, it's a $50,000 tag that she must pay you. Make her pay you $50,000 for your seed. And you sign all these clauses where she can't take you no child support, you get joint cut, what else? Unless you don't want to be around. If you don't want to be around the kid, get your $50,000 signing bonus and give you a little slow ass seed. Hopefully she can raise your son to be strong, successful, independent, and know how to talk to the ladies, maybe play a sport, not always sitting around in his feelings and crying about the women of his peer group. He has to be able to move past that, but still respect and honor the woman that he chooses.
We need to make a movie about that one.
Thank you, Coach Berg. I appreciate you. And last but not least, Mr.
I appreciate it, bro. There you go.
All right. So first of all, I appreciate Coach. I appreciate Payne. Didn't mean make it sound like a movie. I just thought about how I said that. Thank you again for having me on here, Precious. The only thing I want to say is keep mine short and simple as this. Anybody out there watching this video live, understand this, men. If you're willing to give up your planet Earth to that woman, you need to make sure that that woman is willing to give up her wants to create needs with you, because wants and needs are different. Men know what they need from a marriage or a relationship. They know what they need. It's really 5 of them, really, and the first 3 are basically respect, honor them in a relationship or the marriage, and also intimacies, sex. Right? That's all they need, and that's me. Women come into marriages with a lot of wants. They have needs. Don't get me wrong. Y'all have needs. But if a man's going to trade up his whole world, his whole peace, his whole opportunity to just have as many women as he can abroad, for you understand what he's trading up for you, and all he's asking from you in return is to give him balance back and his needs. That's it. Fellas have to be the same way. If a woman's not ready to be intimate anymore, you got to communicate with her like, look, here's the deal. You know, these are my needs. I'm okay. Is it okay if I slide out here every blue moon with this chick? No attachments, whatever. And I come back home. I do right by the house. It's about this community. And the reason we're having this conversation is because society now is different. It is way different from when I was growing up to the age I'm at now. You fellas, and also to you, Precious, you might be in your late 30s. I don't know where you're at, but I'm just saying, like, things are different now. You got girls, like you said, with 5 dudes. You got dudes playing the video games on. They like, I'm tired of a woman telling me that I got to do her nails, take her to a $500 restaurant to eat, bring the kids that I had no intention of trying to know these kids right now. All of these demands and wants are thrown on the man. So society is moving different in the generation behind us. And all I'm saying is that, ladies, when a man chooses you, he's throwing a planet Earth away. His peace, his paradise, he's going to throw it away to create a paradise with you. And you got to be able to bring that balance back to him. That's all I can say to that.
Well, it has been an awesome show. I appreciate you guys. Even Leon, he had to drop early, but I appreciate you guys for just showing up. I always say you guys can be anywhere in the world, but you choose to be here on Wednesday night. So I really do appreciate you. Thank you. This has been an awesome conversation. My final thoughts would be, I think everybody needs to take their own accountability when it comes to situations like this. Women know or need to know and become aware that, like all of you pretty much said, when a man chooses a woman, he is choosing her over the rest of everything else that he could have. And so if you're not going to provide the things that he is, can only exclusively get from you, then you got to look yourself in the mirror and say, why are you not, on that same bandwagon? Like, why are you not agreeing to these things? What is it that's stopping you from doing it? And again, taking the man out, because it takes 2 to tango. But at the end of the day, a lot of women have personal issues that they're not disclosing and they're not being honest about, and they're blaming the man from what they want from him instead of being honest of what they're holding back or what they're not displaying or what they're not communicating. And same for men too. You know, men, you guys carry everything on your shoulders. You don't want anything to be seen, heard, or experienced, because you want the woman to feel safe and protected and provided for. But there are times where you do have to open your mouth and you do have to have conversations in order to, I mean, I can't imagine somebody being 30, 40 years married without having some uncomfortable conversations a time or two in order to progress your relationship. Everybody's going to run into those, you know, speed bumps, but you can recover. The car ain't going to fall apart unless you let it. So thank you guys. I appreciate you. We will be back next Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. If you guys have any time in your schedules and you want to learn about adoption or foster care, or you're just curious, we're live on Tuesday. I have some good guests coming up. I'm actually excited. I'm actually going to be traveling this month, actually, to be on someone's podcast. So I'm looking forward to that. It's a recording, but she has a live studio. So I'm looking forward to that. But again, it's always a pleasure, guys. Be real with yourself so you can be real with everyone else. Happy Thursday, guys, and have a wonderful weekend. It's been a pleasure. Have a good one.
Bye. All right.
Bye-bye.